between themselves and Gaming Gladiators, so they're gonna be able to put the tracker darts from the Sparrow just to get that information. Okay, Light just take a huge bullet to the head, it looks like, from a distance here. Gaming Gladiators having to play that safely. Over to the other side, while 100 Thieves are still gonna be able to hold on to the high ground.
Yeah, this is where the lineups are going to be so important for both Gaming Gladiators and Virtus Pro with the position that they're in. There is a survey beacon inside of Launchpad for either of them to hit. For Gaming Gladiators, it might just be out of reach for them, but for VP, they have a clear path to be able to hit that. And so they'll always know when someone's going to be approaching from that south side. For S8UL, our winners of game number 5, they did not decide to take that trade down through the south side. They were able to cut straight through the middle of the map and make it towards this north side of Launchpad, essentially. But we're getting a big pileup. We've got Twisted Minds, 100 Thieves, even ROC that were eyeing up this position, who might now have to decide another way into this zone. But for S8UL, they are doing a great job of just keeping tabs on the teams around them. But as this ring more than likely continues to pull down towards Launchpad, they're going to have a difficult go of it. They've got VK Gaming, Rival Esports, Crazy Raccoon, all on the North Launchpad side to try and keep them out.
Alliance taking this fight already after they were able to scan that survey beacon. Unlucky was purple. Loses out his shield. He's going to be able to go right inside here as JD Gaming were the ones that got caught in the middle of that rotate. Forced to split up just slightly here. Over on the other side of this choke, Alliance splitting them up. It's an isolated fight with Alliance taking a much more roundabout rotate out of that Launchpad Trident POI of theirs, but they're taking the evac tower and they are on the hunt to try to chase down JD Gaming.
Yeah, this is where a little bit of the inexperience really does come in. You have to know that Alliance are going to be lurking around here. You can't wait for that timing. I mean, JD Gaming are coming from wall. They should have been long gone. Yes. They should not have been there whatsoever, and they're learning their lesson. Luckily for them, though, they still have 2 up. If they get knocked out here, though, the next 2 games, they're gonna know we can't stick around for Alliance.
Alliance are hungry. They're waiting on the edge of zone. You gotta come out eventually, but you know what? JD Gaming split up. That's the good part here, as that other player of JD Gaming is gonna be able to take that gravity cannon outside of wall into the next zone as Go Next get eliminated. 17 squads still left, and by the way, this next circle is pulling right towards where Gaming Gladiators and VP were calling out playing on the edge. VP taking a much more safer rotate, where they're going to be on that slight high ground that overlooks Launchpad, closer to that gravity cannon on the outskirts of Devastated Coast by the rock side.
Yeah, VP were slowed down just a little bit because they had to deal with that fusion rotate in, but Gaming Gladiators, like you had mentioned, getting that deep pocket, having basically the edge of the map to their back, making it that much easier for them to focus on those chokes, right? To their north, to their south, and of course, to their west. So getting a better look at that. The ring will continue to pull over to that eastern side when we get it up. And so teams like Rival Esports are still in the next zone, RRX, Crazy Raccoons, and even Team Liquid. So currently about 5 or 6 teams inside that next zone. A lot of teams kind of meandering about, though. We might have NRG meeting up with Unlimit there down by the pylon. And I feel like for a team like NRG, they are looking and hunting for these kills.
I'm hungry right now. The way that they've been able to try to scout out a lot of these teams slowly on their rotate. Unlimit have opted to go through the pylon side. They're going to be able to have a ring console at survey beacon here too, while Gaming Gladiators have not moved from this spot. Why would they? They call out the zone, and they're making sure that no team will be coming in from that cliff side from the northern choke. They have that tracker dart just for some extra information. They have some loot at their feet here from the fight that we saw go down earlier. But it's a lot more so poke pressure. And since, of course, we saw the altar get banned out in the first game alone, not really able to remotely loot in general, just going to be able to work with what they have right now. We saw the double P20s, the 30-30s from afar. All you need, honestly, with the positioning that they're holding, while Crazy Raccoon looking at the team land right in the building in front of them, seeing if they can have an opportunity to third-party this, as Nuzul is able to get that knock at the SBI.
Boy, getting that bat for now. Jaguar is holding the stairwell, nearly getting the knock. Nizo still on the ground here. VP coming in to try and third-party SBI have Turtle up on the high ground, but they've lost out on 1. Super low in terms of HP, and VP are continuing to get the knocks. That's going to be Mike gone. Now, only left with their Sparrow with 1 HP. Somehow makes it out. No! VP will be able to finish him off.
Lou chasing down that last player right here. Crazy Raccoon were also looking to get involved, but took a little bit of time. They didn't want to give up the high ground. That's a good call from them. They were looking at VP, who have now cleared up that building, and they're in that next zone too.
Crazy Raccoons. This is going to be a necessary pickup of loot at the very least for themselves, as looks like Shopify Rebellion getting into a small skirmish with 100 Thieves somewhere on the map. It is going to be up on the northeast side right now, and Alliance are eyeing this off from the side, picking one off. That's going to be Hawkis with a knock onto MT. Shopify Rebellion are knocked out.
Legolas with that boat check. A beautiful death box right there. Shopify eliminated 100 Thieves up on the high ground now, facing up against Alliance. Jendo gets 2v1 against a double Devo. It looked like two. Unlucky holding on to the height, looking down at 100 Thieves in this isolated fight at that too. Great fight to try to take it. They try to wrap around. Effect gets knocked down though, as Alliance still up as a two-man drop down. Phony one shot, only so much you could do as he was still trying to keep alive here. They get the trade. Unlucky gets that next, and Burles is the only one from 100 Thieves up and alive. And Dead Murder who got the res.
Yep, and now Unlucky is able to get that shield swap. Trying to go for the res. Alliance, though, Unlucky! He's still fighting back, but the res on the other side there. 100 Thieves trying to slowly whittle down the rest of Alliance. Unlucky hits another bat. And now in the 1v2, can he pull it off? No, Alliance will get eliminated. This is now 100 Thieves' opportunity to catch up to Alliance.
That was such a great, slow, individual 1v1 fight between both these teams, though. In that 2v2 situation, holding two different split angles, forcing one of the players to just put themselves out in the line of sight to feel the pressure. But they were holding hands here with that comeback from 100 Thieves. As we take a look at Twisted Mind in this position, holding up on height. It is nice to note too, the Mythic Bin has spawned right on top of VK Gaming, so they will have access to that, as they were bunkered down with the Rampart inside those zipline buildings on the outskirts of the gravity cannon that Rock were holding.
For Twisted Minds, though, they've got one hell of a rotate in the next 20 seconds. They've got JD Gaming off to their west, S8UL on their east, trying to pepper them down, and all in their way. ROC Esports along with Rival Esports here on the high ground.
Triple take in hand too. They were able to also get that red helmet. Twisted Minds, though, looking at YC, JDG, sorry, is going to be taken out here. 13 squads up, Twisted Minds looking right down below. Well, they've been positioned here. We're able to get that KP, which is what they need. Only 2 KP to their name for this game alone, as round 3 closes in right behind them. They're gonna have to start moving in, as S8UL are right in front of them.
Evac tower out. They see that S8UL are moving well ahead of them right now. They're just going to actually fake that one and continue to walk this one in. S8UL slowed down just a bit because of it, but they have one member ahead of them. But the last member of JDG, that's going to be Johnny R, holding the line. Not for long, as Kruk will be able to finish him off, pick up the extra KP, and now they have to deal with Rock Esports ahead of them.
Yeah, they needed that KP, because not only do they have to deal with Rock, VK Gaming are right there, and S8UL have settled inside the edge of zone with the Rampart walls too. Twisted Minds in trouble, as Aberlele is going to be able to phase away on that raid. Rock Esports holding the Prowler down, though. Reed's taking a lot of damage, that triple take, peppering at him with their backs, feeling pressure from the ring. Eating up the nades here as the pileup begins. Rock in some trouble, but they get some safety behind the rock.
There's so much pressure here on the northwest side. VK have lost out on one. S8UL set up a little bunker for themselves with those Rampart walls. And they're able to secure that thirst onto QQ. VK, though, somehow surviving for now, but it's only Casa with about 10 HP before he goes down. So, a lot of our lobby leaders now out. It's 100 Thieves moment here in second place with 50 points. Catch up.
Rock are in such a tough place, literally in the line of sight of 2 teams at the same time here, doing everything they can, looking at rivals, looking at S8UL have now pushed up, by the way. Legacy being able to get that first knock onto Vax the Thermite, as Rival are now trying to wrap around. Let's go. Comes up behind them here too, but they still want to get some of this KP.
Yeah, they have to make sure that they apply this pressure properly. They cannot lose a member because they have Rival Esports the entire time looking them down. And so, they don't overextend for this one. They're safe for now, as Bafa Fifth tries to get aggressive from Rivals, and now here's a huge opportunity.
How do they keep doing this? It's always S8UL and Rival on the other side of the sandwich. mean, it's a buffet out here for Apex South to feast on as they go their separate ways here. Literal respect as S8UL now rotate to the north side, looking at RRX and Rival Esports. Both these teams now having to move into that next zone. Gaming Gladiators, who have not moved from their position, by the way, are looking at 100 Thieves, who are looking to take their side by the Prowler Den closer to the water.
Yeah. For Rival Esports, though, as they continue to make their way on in, they've got S8UL right behind them. RR6 in this building as well. They can survive for now. Ring is closing in. Time is of the essence. But S8UL will take time to get some cooldowns back along with Rival Esports. They expended a lot just to get on in, but they're not in fully quite yet. Now we still have 4 other squads in the lobby. Crazy Raccoons making their way in along with VP. Right now we're sticking with S8UL as Rivals take that high ground.
And now as they wrap around in this building with this 3-team pile-up, let the Sheila sing as Jesco's looking at a corner. Off a feed with the red Evo once again, but Rival Esports still with the double blue Evos that they're forced to play off of this. Off that low ground too. VP, 100 Thieves by the way, lighting up the feed. Another 3-team pile-up it looks like, with Crazy Raccoon losing out on 1, but trying to play off this corner, hailing down the damage as S8UL. Nobody's stopping them here off this rooftop. Jesco gets the next knock here, 2 back-to-back. 7 squads left, and no third party here inside this building.
They're on the verge of a back-to-back until RRX decides to drop down on them. Nane finds 1 knock onto Jesco. Sharky falling next, but Legacy, the 1v1, can he finish him off? The knockdown shield making it a little bit difficult as Legacy will back away with that RRX. Just have too much firepower here, and they will eliminate S8UL along with Crazy Raccoon going down to VP.
Clearing that entire western side of that next zone, but you're going to be forced out into the open. Splitting their attention at RRX. They're looking down at Gaming Gladiators. Let's jump into a listening with 100 Thieves here as we jump into a listening to see what their next move is.
Yeah, I did like the side of play. I couldn't see any addition to get there either. The only thing I can think of now, obviously you just said it, was just an end center. Tough situation to be in. Very congested on that side.
Zone's closing in, 100 Thieves are holding that north side, trying to gatekeep RRX, and that's the first knock onto Nane from VP. Now 100 Thieves still dealing with that RRX. They're getting flanked. It's going to be Gaming Gladiators on top of them.
And now VP have the perfect opportunity to third party this. They need to close in the gap as 100 Thieves take this fight versus Gaming Gladiators. Motherload called in. Blast is literally 1 shot though. Having to be careful. Bango rolling in here. Rolling Thunder. Just enough. 2 squads left. Burrows is popping up. They're looking to get the reset, but taking way too long as VP for free walk up to take the dub.
That's what I'm talking about. VP needed to come first. They are so good when it comes to Storm Point and the ring pulls coming their way. That's why they love going over toward that devastated coast side. And they were able to do it extremely well. We saw them move early on. They got cut off by Fusion, but with the help of Gaming Gladiators, they were able to take them out early on, keep that slow side of the zone extremely clear. And we saw that action, that proactivity out of both squads force a huge pile up on the western edge, and they kept the fight ahead of them the entire time.
And that's why VP wanted to play off of that southwestern choke rather than committing by the Prowler Den that GG sat in for the entire rest of the game. When they cleared their backs, they knew that with some help from GG, unintentionally, they were able to deal with Crazy Raccoon. That would have been the only team that could have stopped their plans. They walk in, they get the free third party after the action that we saw go down in the lot over to the left side of that final zone.
And with that win, that will help VP, of course, secure the plus 24, but move up on top of the leaderboard. Now in third place, 100 Thieves, though, were able to find a lot of kills for themselves. Unfortunately for Gaming Gladiators, they will pick up the plus 7 and place some points, finishing in third, but they only find 2 KP. The early ones that they got on Fusions, but they were so deep pocket, really far back on the slow side of the zone. They didn't have the same opportunities with all of the fighting that was taking place on the western front.
Look at this, VP have now shot up to top 3. with
Hashtag
48
fight.
points.
क्या
Some
बात
gap
है,
between
guys.
themselves and VK Gaming with a 4-point difference.
बात.
But as it shapes up right now, that was game 6, done and dusted. We literally only have 3 games to go, and teams are getting a little desperate here, Jamerson, with Crypto being out for game number 6. That included a lot of Sparrow for that game, specifically for some information. That means we won't be seeing Sparrow for game number 7.
Yeah, and we'll see how teams adjust to it. We did see, of course, that we saw a lot of Bangalore getting picked up for this one, so hopefully maybe that's how we finish it out. We're going to take a short break. When we get back, we'll have more Storm Point after this.
क्या बात है guys, क्या बात है. Hearts spam कर दो guys. Guys, oh,
Hey guys, bringing you some news here from the Esports World Cup. My name's Barney and I'm your host, and I'm really excited to bring you the news that we have our first 2025 Esports World Cup champions. It is in Ren Sports and it is BMW M Team Redline Red Bull Sim Racing. They've secured that first top spot. It is their only active title here at EWC, so Club Championship prize money does feel like a bit of a far reach, but congratulations either way. Second place was claimed by Virtus Pro, one of our teams that are currently in the top 10 here at Apex Legends, and consequently just took
Please like,
that
share,
win
subscribe
on that previous
करिए,
map we
like,
just had
share,
here at Apex Legends. They also have the second most confirmed game titles at EWC with 16. Falcons have also exceeded expectations at Ren Sport as well, expecting to take 0 points because they were the only unseeded team that were taking part. But in a surprise finish, they managed to claim 7th place, and that 7th place finish managed to secure them 100 points for the club championship, and that's their first amount of points that they have received. Yes, Virtus Pro right down there, securing those awfully important points. At this current point, Falcons have secured top 8 in Fatal Fury as that continues this weekend, which is a guaranteed 200 points for them. So things are looking up for Falcons as we continue in week number 1.
like करिए guys, like करिए, like करिए, like करिए. पैरेलल पे देखे फिर तो यूट्यूब पे तो आ सकता है ना.
Welcome back to our ALGS midseason playoff here at EWC 2025. My name's Rain Day. Welcome back, y'all. We're back in the studio for a little bit of a halftime to get the players to break and us to break down the action. And let me introduce you to someone who's always breaking down the action. Man, this guy. Have you lost your voice this time? Okay, welcome Privacy, the data analyst for Team Falcons. Very, very animated in our green room, already arguing with Jayhawk. For I kid you not, 5 minutes.
टॉप 5 हो चुके हैं। अगर यहाँ से टॉप 8 में रहे तो फाइन। #5 है।
That's a little bit low. We might turn you up in there as well. We'll come.
Look at this. VP
Top 7
to top 3.
Top
48
7
total points. Still
और
slightly
अपना शेड्यूल 41 पे।
difference. But as it shapes up right now, that was game.
तो यहाँ पे तो निकाला बे। चिकन निकाला है।
At the edge, VK could have actually pushed up and maybe cleaned that up, and it
कुछ
seems
चिकन
like
निकाला यार।
I believe this was earlier on too. We saw
kind of
Like,
space.
I
They had a lot of been knocked out though, but Thunder try to get away with that raid, but NRG not gonna let him get away.
Major Raccoon being one of the teams here with that ring.
आ गया रे थोड़ा।
Looking at S8, they're looking
Chart
at JD Gaming as rival esports now make their way from the
100 kills को मारा है भाई 100 kills को शेड्यूल ने।
They have been able to post up points along the way. Now here's another opportunity to get a second win, just like Alliance had done earlier. But for 100 Thieves, like you had mentioned, they have the most space on this ring. They've also got JD Gaming and Rival starting to stack on top of each other. UL currently not making any moves. They do have that western side to themselves. 100 Thieves leading 2 members to keep an eye on it. For Rival Esports, though, stuck on the low ground right now, on the climb up, and there's no threats in their way.
This is a really important game for S8. As they're looking at rival, they're looking at 100 Thieves. They have to put pressure onto 100 Thieves.
तो 8 लाख हो क्या बात है?
That left side of the zone, because S8 are currently in 16th place with only 17 points. JD Gaming.
गाइस लाइक करो यार लाइक करो।
Esports are looking to fully swing here. They have the PK in hand, taking a little bit of that circle damage. As 4 squads left are here, they want to get information with the crypto drone.
Kimber not here. The win to deny that res. Crucial time. Well, as you can see, JD Gaming still stuck on the low ground. Rival Esports want to try and finish.
Here, Jen, by the way, with the alternator in this late game, with the peek over to that north. Also,
Along with S8UL. My big question is, how's the other team zone?
S8UL. And here, Jen taking a lot. 100 Thieves were forced to.
They hit them out. S8UL going in for the finishing blow, but Rival Esports are full of 100 Thieves.
We'll get sandwiched. And
Yep.
pay attention to S8UL.
That's a Nox gas grenade right on top of 100 Thieves. Knock them out. S8UL going in for the finishing blow, but Rival Esports are full and healthy as S8UL with that high ground, almost getting the knock. And there it is on the gop cap.
With a nice handshake with rivals S8UL. Walk up. Take a nice deep breath.
क्या मस्त खेले यहाँ पे क्या मस्त खेले।
To S8UL. Walk in.
Going straight focus was not enough to the 100 hurdle up.
क्या फ्रेम लगा क्या फ्रेम लग रहा है क्या फ्रेम लग रहा है। ये लोगों इंटरनेशनल देख रहे
Behind those Newcastle
इंटरनेशनल देख रहे अपन।
was not enough to the utility that was being
On it as well. Let's start talking about
हाँ
few
सर।
fun things we put together. You know, Hugo, our stats guy, you may know him from ALS, and he's been working with us as well to find a couple of these interesting conversations that we haven't had. Yeah, here's a knock to leaderboard, but we didn't tell you that it was the people doing the knocking. These are actually the people who've gotten knocked the most in this tournament. Pita kind of leading the charge there. He had a pretty funny moment the other day, and him and Vane, you know, they kind of had a conversation. It just felt like couldn't get his point across, or maybe Vane couldn't get his point across. Pita certainly having the resilience to continue on, and I think about a minute you'll see exactly why he's leading that leaderboard. Also, it talks a little bit about the 30-30 right there. That's one knock for Pita. Maybe this is why NIP felt so dominant there. The confidence. Tries to take it back again. This has all been us, guys. That's 2.
And you know, I think this is also just kind of speaking to the gun meta right now, right? Privacy. I mean, you're looking at what happens when these
There's
ranged
3.
weapons are involved in extended engagements.
I mean, there is a part of it that people wants to get even points, race farming points by getting knocks or whatever. But like the 30-30 being dominating all the time with sorry, the 30-30 being dominating all the time with the damage they do. I mean, yeah, all the stats is getting like too much leveled up with the damage stats.
Snipe, if you're peeking and you lost 4 times in a row, do you keep peeking?
4 लोग देख रहे हैं लाइक सब्सक्राइब करिए यार क्या करिए लाइक और सब्सक्राइब करिए क्यों नहीं कर रहे सब्सक्राइब सब्सक्राइब करिए यार
You gotta find a way. I've seen many teams adopt this strategy.
I mean, come on, man. Come on.
He was happy like this is 100
Tell me
points.
this clip is over. How's he getting
आ रहा है
revived so
ना
fast? That's what I want to know.
सब्सक्राइब करिए यार
What is the team
और
doing?
5 सब्सक्राइबर चाहिए 6000 पहुंचने के लिए जल्दी से जल्दी पहुंचा दो यार
And not Pete. My goodness. Peta showing us a little bit.
जल्दी से जल्दी पहुंचा दो
Be on top of a leaderboard, even though that leaderboard may not be the one that we were seeking heading into these games. Privacy, would you start running some of the numbers on one of your players if it happened to them? You know, start talking to Falcons and
पता
you know, we got to talk about your knocks. If you saw a clip like that,
I would say for sure. I mean, Zero was doing it multiple times in scrims, and we were laughing because we wanted some points. We were like bored in the gut spot, and we knew the zone is coming to us, and we wanted some kind of evo points. We did this. It's like nice,
Yeah.
but we can't do it in a LAN because I will be scared actually getting entered in the gut spot doing this type of risk farming.
I mean, the reality is there is some technical analysis there because they are gaining evo. They're not in a dangerous position, but you never know, and you are risking having a 2v3, not getting that up, and then losing a really good spot in zone when you do it. Privacy brain from, but as well, you are the zone guy. You love working through how these zones are landing. A lot of our tools in terms of how we play tend to have themes of where these zones are pulling.
लाइक करिए सब्सक्राइब करिए सब्सक्राइब
Of certain drop spots. How have you felt the zones
सब्सक्राइब करिए सब्सक्राइब
today in Group B, or at least if you haven't watched much today, yesterday panning out this tournament?
I don't want to be like seeming like a little bit of hater, but like
जल्दी से जल्दी सब्सक्राइब
north side today, except for the storm point. We had all north side zones for ED. We did the same for Ward's Edge. I mean, whoever was landing in that side was benefiting so much with those type of zones. Yeah, we know that lately, for example, District had certain zones repeating over and over. It's happening again, and yeah, I mean, it is sadly at certain points has to have certain tools and the team. POI will be benefiting out of it. Hopefully Sunday will be different.
All right, there's the analysis. Something big just happened over here. We're not the only tournament running. They were really lucky as well. Or they maybe just loved your point. Either way, we're in it with a bang. Let's sit it back to the casters. We're at Game 6, going into Game 7. 4 more to go until we find out who's taking the W in this series.
Thank you very much, Rain Day. Always great to hear from Privacy as well. But now we're going to turn our attention back to our stage here, back to the players, back to the teams, because we are now getting into the slightly more interesting games now, where we really start to focus in on those point totals. Who's going to go through the match point finals? Who's going to go to the LCQ? And who is going to be thinking about how to get to the airport?
I will say, Jayhawk might not have been brave enough to say it when he was on the desk, but Privacy was giving him a very hard time in the green room about his YouTube videos, about why he wasn't talking about Falcons enough. Well, Falcons, maybe they need to give Jayhawk another reason to talk about them in a YouTube video.
फोन नहीं उठा रहे थे मिट
On Sunday, they've already made their way there, but of course, will Alliance be joining them? Likelihood is yes, because they've already accumulated so many points, 82 of them to be precise, making these Alliance fans very happy indeed.
I wish that everybody actually got to experience that conversation, because the amount of times that Jayhawk said the words, can I just speak? can I just speak? Didn't get the opportunity very often to get his rebuttal in. But speaking of the games, let's turn our attention to what's happened so far. We saw match 5 go to S8UL, and VP stepping up to the mark and announcing themselves here at the mid-season playoffs at EWC with a win in our previous game. Dan Gaskin, legend bans, we've just seen who has been banned. We're starting to get a little bit restricted on our picks these days.
Yeah, losing another recon legend with Sparrow going, so we're going to be seeing a lot of Pathfinder, of course. I'm sure there'll be a few off-meta selections, maybe Vantage creeping in here or there.
Match चालू हो रहा है guys.
You get the Survey Beacon, but also with the blue selection could get Ring Console as well. Looking across at the legends that have been picked, yes, Pathfinder very prominent here indeed. Lots of Rampart, lots of Fuse to be selected as well as we are into Storm Point once more.
And we'll sign off with Virtus Pro down a devastated coast. Bad news for them after their win in the previous game, which was nothing but good news. Long way to go for them here. It looks like we're headed up towards North Pad, and if you're an Alliance fan, great news for you.
It's going to be actually Newcastle banned, by the way, going into the next game. 11 Newcastles. Ballistic and Pathfinder only one behind and thereafter, but that means that, well, we're going to see a very different composition going into the next. But zone-wise, yeah, you called it absolutely spot on. Alliance, they're going to be delighted with that one.
Go back through the VODs, everyone. I think I'm 100% on zone calls so far.
I think, actually, to give you your credit, you are.
See if that keeps up. Obviously, the next one will be a dodgy double pullback, but for now, it is Alliance who are going to be happy, and most happy as well. Like the guys and girls were talking about in the previous game, Alliance claiming Trident, but because nobody wants to take North Pad, due to the fighting prowess they have, and knowing that Alliance quite simply will fight you if you go to North Pad, they get the entirety of that northern side. So essentially, I'd say a POI and a half. Not the best POI in the world, Trident, if you only have that to yourselves, but POI and a half, all of either the opportunities you have over there, and of course you're going to have the dogs to take down as well. You're going to have a really good time, and they're certainly going to be looking good when that zone goes their way.
No ring console though. They do have survey beacons, but I don't believe they have a ring console to access, so they might be joined by a couple of teams quite quickly, so they don't want to be too spread out. I think they'll get an idea of the zone coming their way once they start to see people arrive, whether it be from the skies, via the water, or via the trenches. There's various different ways to get into their zone. I think they're probably going to look to the sky and see them. Speaking of looking to the sky, JD Gaming are doing just that. They see RRX making their transition over towards North Pad.
Yeah, Alliance are going to know right now because Liquid have just arrived, RRX are on their way, and ROC have all landed almost simultaneously over at North Pad. JD Gaming over at Wall are going to have to work their way there. They do have pretty good prio to this zone, but there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams who have beaten them to the punch as we look at Alliance now, who will have control of the main building.
So ROC can set up with that Newcastle, which will not be available for the next game, but this is going to play perfectly for their idea. They can hold this area for quite some time, and it's Team Liquid they're looking over towards on the edge of the fingers there to maybe see if they can add some damage. But ROC going to be happy as Larry. I don't think anyone's going to be able to push them here.
Yeah, they'll be good for quite some time here. Especially towards the end of the game as well, you're going to see they're going to have an opportunity to pick off some KP as there's the potential for this zone to either pull back towards the southern side of where Alliance find themselves, or potentially towards those fingers. SAUL are going to play in the red tunnel here, and we'll be able to get the wall down. You can see how quickly they've rotated as well, just left with just white armors, didn't have the opportunity to get the Evo to get up to Blues.
Rampart and Newcastle certainly building a base down here underneath. Alliance saw it happen though, so they'll be well aware of SAUL's position, but again, SAUL, they're going to be comfortable. Instead, we focus our attention elsewhere as Virtus Pro going up against Unlimit. It looks like this one, maybe a 1v1 at this point as we join it. Certainly a lot, no, it's a 1v2. Looks like Zach Mays has just been able to pick off one, but can he get away?
अरे गेम में नहीं डरा पैरेलल पे
LVP having won the previous game have got a long way to go. Well, they've got even further to go now. As Yalari man will finish off loot. Suvi's going to be able to get his teammate back on his feet. And it looks like Zach has managed to escape for now, but only into the zone. And just looking at where he could potentially craft. He's got a crafter available over at Launchpad, but that might be a little bit telegraphed if he goes there. Limit will be thinking about where he is. And with the zone closing behind him as well, he might actually have the timing here to get his teammates back into the game. But obviously, re-dropping here, they do have a ring console over VP if they get that res. We jump on board them to see where that zone's going to be going, but it's a tough situation for them, and it's a little bit of a sobering moment for them as well, having won that previous game.
Yeah, I wonder if he was considering Stormcatcher as a potential area to res, but I think bad news is there could be a Gaming Gladiators on his way. Anyway, Effect is taking a lot of damage here, so Alliance clearly struggling.
Yeah, Alliance really are struggling. Effect is going to go down as well. Alliance have moved away from that big building as well. I don't think we're just trying to take space if they saw an opportunity to pick up KP. With the points on the board, they can pretty much do what they want at this point. It's unlucky. Their job is to get their main Slayer back into the game, and with a res beacon right in front of Hackers.
Hello.
On the Crypto anymore, of course, haven't been banned, but on the Pathfinder.
अरे गेम में नहीं पैरेलल पे आ रही वॉच पार्टी करते हैं
Bro's never fake. He was always sticking that one. Even though some people
मैं वॉच पार्टी बोला
they weren't able to connect with them, and Zach Mazer will continue his journey.
अरे तो पैरेलल पे आएगा तो
he
नहीं
was
देख
thinking
पाएगा
about Stormcatcher, but that's actually where GG
टीवी में
resides,
चला ना
so he probably is going to have to dip
नहीं चल रहा है ना
as he sees them cross to Stormcatcher on the right hand side of his screen. First brought him in third place at the moment. Zach does have plenty of meds to work with. 8 syringes. It's okay. It's not the best, but it's enough to work with right now.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. 8 syringes seems like a lot, but as Zone 2 and the speed of which...
कोई नहीं आ रहा अपने वॉच पार्टी में 7 जने कोई नहीं आ रहे
Being able to craft a medkit over a Stormcatcher as well, he's going to have to prioritise
अपन
those
1
banners.
minute
It might be a little bit closer than people realise for VP to get back into this game, but for now, VP are still alive. Zach is still in the game. GG now get themselves up to purples. Outside of Funk, of course, by hitting that survey beacon. As Zach decides he has to make this play, maybe based upon the fact that the meds are going to be hurting, to try and move towards getting those banners. But it seems like by hitting that survey beacon, also GG are going to know he's coming in, and Zach has had to scarper away the other way. Over to SBI Esports though. Over at Mill here, doing a little bit of damage onto a team escaping on that Trident.
Yeah, NRG just getting away, but I think NRG maybe has a 2. I think they lost one potentially during that combat, and the answer is yes, because you can see the death box there right on your screen. So that was the rewards SBI have. 19th place in the moment, 16 points. SBI are in that dangerous territory of bottom 3. We sadly saw 3 teams exit yesterday, and we are going to see 3 more teams exit today, and their keys crushed.
Lines are back to 3. We saw that a little
wire कितना wire
outside of the building, kind of in the reservoir, the little circular one outside of that building. DK Gaming now make their way towards zone as well. They're going to play one of the donuts. Go next, holding down the tunnel, which checks everybody coming in from the checkpoint choke. Difficult to hold though, if some of those nades start to roll your way, especially with no Watson. Maybe Newcastle Wall can eat those up, but Rival Esports are actually going to hit the evac towers you see over the checkpoint, and they might be landing towards where BK Gaming just went. Elsewhere, we go on board with Evos, who are moving towards the mill, where we just saw SBI leave.
Oh, and the remainder of NRG are coming back towards Mill as well, potentially to see if they could pick up that death box on their way, but they're going to be greeted by Evos, and it's going to be
us, guys.
way back round.
Don't worry about us, guys. Just checking in.
It's a loop of the track. It's just a circle at this point as NRG say, all right, we're going to have to do this the hard way.
NRG almost taunting them, taunting the rest of the lobby, just being like, hey, still alive here. VP, though, Zach Mazer has just gone down to the ring, but he got his teammates back into the game over at Stormcatcher, so there's an opportunity for them to res elsewhere, back towards the northern side of Stormpoint, and RRX in a little bit of trouble here, Dan.
Yeah, Fusion on the other side have been trying to push out of the wall, but JD Gaming are right behind them, so this is not going to be a simple one.
Newcastle's down as well. Rezzy's not going to be there to hit those Rezzys, and JDG are going to send it to make sure that Fusion will get sandwiched, will get pinched and be taken down.
JD will be the winners ultimately of all of this. And all the meanwhile, 100 Thieves are kind of watching over it, saying, do we need to get involved? The answer probably no, because we're in a more comfortable position right now.
Oh my.
Perhaps we could just pick up a kill or 2 as RRX do get confirmed as eliminated from the lobby in 19th position. And then Shopify Rebellion going down as well to GG off camera. I mean, how on earth has that happened? Oh, it's happening. It was outside of command center, it looks like.
103 Thieves inside of one of the donuts, this time on the eastern side of Northpad. Now in the hands here of Jim Burton, just trying to see if he can hold any teams out. This is how it stands on the right-hand side of your screen. You can see Alliance has been dominant so far, and an opportunity with the POI that they landed at and the zone coming their way for them to extend that lead even more. Good news for VP fans. The win wasn't short-lived, even though it's been a bit of a scary start, certainly a shaky one. Team Slayer, thanks to Zach's play, have managed to get back in this game.
You saw how tight it was. Virtus Pro on 48, but they're only 7 points ahead of those that are chasing for that top 7. So it is not guaranteed right now as Evo's looking to try and push up onto SBI here.
Got that first knock as well, and it's that boy Nate, who keeps getting kill after kill. So impressive in the EMEA Pro League. And SBI just getting chopped away at the moment. Nate will find
A little bit of damage here, he's sliding as well. SBI Esports eliminated. Keep your eyes on this guy. Well, I think he's going to be a name to watch in the future.
Yeah, just one of those. You see him just come out of nowhere
Let's
sometimes.
go.
It reminds me a little bit
Samart
of
bhai, welcome to the stream.
compete
Bye.
in the EMEA Pro League as well. And then when he got his opportunity on Alliance, well, he has not looked back.
क्या लगता है guys?
Speaking of looking back, a few
क्या
teams are
लगता
going
है
to have
ये?
to. Gaming Gladiators, after taking down Shopify Rebellion, maybe are aware that
ये
Virtus
कितना
Pro
point
is
predict
behind them
करते
here, or are behind them, excuse me. Crazy Raccoon
Match
also in the
number
area
7.
though, but I don't know if Crazy
उसके
Raccoon
बाद
know
और
of GG's position.
3 मैच
This is
बाकी
really
हैं
interesting.
और
VP
3
have kind
मैच.
of committed to this choke as well. I don't think they're going to have the meds to wrap zone at all. I don't know if they have an evac or if even if there's a place
पूरा
that they can
स्टिंग
place it.
don't worry पूरा
But they have to
कर
commit to this choke. By the way, Mythic Bin has just spawned over at checkpoint here. That's going to be good news for
Subscribe
Unlimit. They're going to be able to pick
subscribe
up the goodies
करें.
from there. It's Crazy Raccoon now. Maybe having realised that
अपन ऐसे
GG
डोल के
were
हर
a little
मैच
bit
करें
closer to
हर
them than they
मैच.
thought, and also maybe realising that they've got to get towards zone here as the zone will start closing in around 60 seconds or so.
Just seen on the south side as well, southeast, NRG are about to walk in onto Virtus Pro and maybe don't realise it. There's definitely an engagement that's about to happen there, and I think NRG may struggle with it. And here we go, NRG.
Slayer takes damage. Big fuse on the mother load is going to hurt. NRG here. Numbers in the front. Heavily right now, VP. They've just
एक
got
बार
to
try
play this one
करेंगे
slowly.
पर पे गेम.
NRG will be eliminated. Slayer down on the newcomer
ये
means that maybe it's going to take a little bit longer
try
to get
करने का एक
themselves
बार.
back up, but they should be able
देख
to
के
get
तो
help.
मजा आ रहा है.
Everyone's overextending for
ये
this. GG
खेलने में
towards
मन कर
that
रहा.
survey beacon. And now the choke seems pretty free for them to walk through, but the zone closes in 20 seconds here. And they have to be careful that they can even get towards zone.
And that is one thing that could actually be in favour of Virtus Pro though, because GG have bigger fish to fry here. They
Guys,
have to work out how they're going to get into zone, rather so than really focusing on keeping VP out of it.
like करे 10 लाख तक ये 10 लाख तक 6 लोग देख रहे 15 लाख तो आराम से पहुंचा सकते हो.
And Unlimit who just hit that mythic bin as well. So Gaming Gladiators are actually wrapping all the way round here towards checkpoint through the choke. And maybe able to pinch all of this that's going on right now. VP have made their move. You can see that from the skies.
मारो.
In towards where this zone is going.
सब मर जाओ.
And Unlimit
ऐसे टोल को चिकन दे दो. चिकन अपन बीजेएमआई वाले ना, तो क्या अपन चिकन डिनर बोलते हैं.
Catastrophe for a lot of these teams as now Unlimit look to try and press up, but sadly you walk into an incredible amount of gunfire.
PUBG वाले रे अपन PUBG वाले.
The rest of the team just scarper past to try and get in towards that zone. Unlimit will be down to 2 though. Yolari Man has been finished and out of the game.
नीचे का हुआ. ये फिर
Raccoon
टोल
are
कहाँ गया?
safe in this corner, but VP now wrap in behind them. I'm not sure if they're going to be completely safe in that.
पर ये लोग फाइट कर रहा है, किल उठाएगा तो ऊपर आएगा.
Take a balloon and actually dive on Evos. JD Gaming get taken out. Evos lose the fight, so
ऐसे
GG
टोल को
force
करना
their way into the southwest side of the zone. Impressive
ऐसे
job
टोल
from
को किल्स उठानी चाहिए. कितना टीम बचा? 13 टीम बचा. यार जोन बताओ ना यार, जोन बताओ.
Now they know. VP bursts out, but it's going to be Karampu who gets the first knock here. Zach Mason will follow. VP decimated. VP dealt with.
इजी है बे. सोल को क्या बे, क्या जोन है बे. सोल के लिए क्या जोन है. इजी इजी इजी. यहाँ पे क्वालिटी थोड़ा डाउन हो गया क्योंकि हमारा प्रोडक्शन का क्वालिटी डाउन है, इसलिए गाइस संभाल लेना थोड़ा.
So teams like rival esports, who are the only team at the back of that finger, are going to have a fantastic potential in-game
12
position.
team.
Team Liquid pretty close to them as well. SAUL we saw playing in the red room, the red tunnel, are going to have access to this as well. But everyone else is going to have to work not just through
अरे
normal,
मतलब सब टॉप टीम्स मर गई. ऐसे टोल को ऊपर जाने का चांसेस है थोड़ा. टॉप 3 आने का. नहीं है जिंदा सॉरी माय मिस्टेक. माफ करो.
But then they would have to take an engagement against potentially GG here.
Yeah, GG are making that play that you talk about, just wrapping all the way round as we take a look back at that Crazy Raccoon versus VP fight. It was over almost before.
Let's go. Guys, rocket spam करते हैं guys. पूरी positive vibes रखो. Positive vibes रखो.
going to be a difficult one to come back from. 100 Thieves trying back off, but it is going to invite more pressure for Unlimited to come in and join this one. GG also looking over it. Several teams looking to try and find KP here.
Looks like 100 Thieves have at
Guys,
least
positive vibes,
managed to stay alive for
positive
how long.
vibes.
Burholst on the Newcastle, most importantly for 100 Thieves, has managed to stay alive for a few seconds, but the problem is the zone is a problem. He has to use that castle wall just to progress, but that is a
भारी था.
for the rest of the lobby to focus in. Sangjoon gets silenced, but Sangjoon
तो
will
आ
stay
गया.
alive. Oh, pick up a couple of KP on his way
क्या shot
forward.
मारा बे?
Unlimited gone, crazy raccoon fall as well. And Sangjoon becomes the kill leader, but for how long?
43 points.
Placement point. It guaranteed them 10th. Now ROC positioned themselves here at the top a long time ago. They will have a good
Hashtag
vantage
7
point
पे
on top of this
अपने को और
building,
ऊपर
but
जाना है. 7 के ऊपर टॉप 5 के ऊपर जाना है guys. Positive vibes. No teams alive. इसको जोन में आने के लिए फाइट करना पड़ रहा है. ये भी गया. Asset will check. Guys, let's go guys, let's go. Positive vibes.
If they can find the right time here,
वो कहाँ है बे? Asset will कहाँ गया? ये लोग ऊपर है भी. ऊपर से मस्त विजन. बस सब अंदर फाइट कर रहे हैं.
And Alliance still alive as well, all up to purples. Saw Effect go down early, but Hackett was able to get that early res. Effect is finding out that Rock is still on this high ground. Great shots coming in from Vaxlon with that 30-30 repeater, but Rock
must
in the
have.
meantime, just waiting for everything to
Really
happen in front
करना
of them. But this building is where the action is going to be taking place. 3 teams stacked up upon each other with ROC looking down on them.
yeah, this is going to be mayhem for all of these squads trying to exit. I think ROC are hoping that they can maybe pick things up here whilst also making that decision about how they get into zone. You can see they're slowly walking across their bridge.
1/4 वाले लोग ही जिंदा मतलब ऊपर जा सकता है रे. सोल ऊपर जा सकता है. ऐसे टूल ऊपर जा सकता है. सोल की boys, let's
and try and reset. That's exactly what they've managed to do, but they are taking some damage, and Hackett has to be careful. Ooh, his toes just got Sims there as that Thermite does its job here. Twisted Minds now lead, but it's down to enemy and Crook as Albrelli has fallen.
Might get the res, might not either. Crook is still alive, but it looks like BKG took full advantage, but now ROC get involved.
Great shots coming in, now the reload has to come in.
reload.
Vaxlon will stay alive long enough. GG now make their cross. Twisted Minds will fall in the meantime. ROC using the mobile shield to walk forward, and now that they're at the edge of
Soul नीचे.
the castle wall will go down as well. GG gone. 6 squads remaining.
Let's go,
Alliance trying to
B.
destroy that castle wall, though. They want to take this fight, but they're well aware Team Liquid are destroying them from the other angle. That's why they're trying to be aggressive here.
Got to be careful if they swing, because Vaxlon has taken this high ground position. The rest of the lobby initially wasn't looking, but now they are. Sorcerer drops down. It's a 1v1.
Hey,
Sorcerer
1v1.
unlucky. Can't get the swap. And with barely any
कर लिया.
HP, Alliance survive.
बस सोल kills उठाओ. Asset will.
Unlucky. Will not die.
Nice.
Finally
Oh.
Rival Esports, though, had to throw everything at just the one player. Still have a Kraber, but have to try and get a flow back up.
And SAU
3
out.
teams.
Maybe not just looking to get to zone, but looking for a kidnap, looking for an opportunity to get a little bit of space in front of them. Team Liquid in the meantime, they've been on that.
अरे यार.
The majority of this game is SAU will fall.
Anti रे. Anti
It's a
anti.
3v3. They are able to get that res just
Kills
about flows
कितने
back
हुए?
on his feet.
Kills
So now,
इतने नहीं आए
Team
शायद
Liquid have
मेरे
not
ख्याल
pressed
से.
up on that because they have so much to work
Anti,
with on their side. So there will be a moment of respite here.
बोला यार guys rocket spam करो.
Take your position, try and
Rocket.
find angles, and think about these ultimates. Nizel does not have an ultimate available to him. That's going to be important here.
Player to watch here, I
Rocket
think, is
spam
gonna be
नहीं कर रही थी यार guys. इसके लिए
Not gathered to the angle.
Rocket
I
spam
don't
करते
think
तो
Team
मस्त
Liquid
चिकन
are
आ
aware
जाता.
of. You can see him at the top left side of your screen here. He knows where 2 players. He's waiting for the help to come in so they can angle out these 2 players. Jaguaris has to cross to his teammates. But the shots with the 30-30 from Jaguaris, but then the Kraber shots come in. Team Liquid, 2 players alive. Oh my god, the shots coming in from the R9. It's a 1v2. It's a 1v3, excuse me, and Rival Esports will close it out.
Nice.
The Kraber and the R9 sprays.
Anti anti. Asset कोई ना. और 3 मैच है guys. और 3 मैच है. Hope for the best. Hope for the best. Spam कर दो rocket यार. Rocket spam करो यार. Rocket spam नहीं करो इसके लिए यार समझ रहे हो.
throughout the
नहीं हो पा रहा है
entirety
रॉकेट
of
स्पैम
that
कर दो
final
धर
circle.
धर धर धर
Almost
स्पैम कर दो
overextended at one point, but they did pick up more kills, and in the end, they're the winners. So they're going to be delighted, and it puts them up into the top 3 right now. Creates a small gap, and after 7 rivals, they are currently going to match point finals.
That's the kind of game you hope you can have late on in a series.
क्या
Just
पॉइंट्स
the
टेबल
one
क्या
that
बोलता
takes
है
a little bit of pressure off your shoulders and turns your attention to looking forward to qualifying for match point finals instead of any of the negative thoughts that you might have if you had a
अबे
this point in the
7
series.
पॉइंट
They put 8 KP on the
Zero
board
kill.
alongside the 12 placement points. Rival Esports take
Zero
20
kill.
points away from your match number
इसी
7.
जोन 7 में था क्या करे लास्ट किल्स अपने थे पर
12 on the board. SAUL, no
क्या
kill
यार
points, but 7 is going to be a nice consistency for them, and still Alliance putting another 12 in tracking the points that Alliance get, because they're now on 94. And remember, if they win this lobby, they are chasing the total of 117 if they are going to get first in that POI draft for match point finals.
Of course, TSM, the team who hold that at the moment from Group A that played yesterday. And we'll have to see if that is going to be a point total they can defend, or if Alliance will steal that away. And of course, that first seed in the POI draft. We'll take a look at
Rival
Rival
Esports
Esports, though.
अच्छा
That's the
खेलता
story
है
right now. And you have to say, Dan, when you're looking outside of that match 1, it's been pretty darn consistent from this lineup.
अच्छा खेल
Very
अच्छा खेल
consistent indeed, and I think they'll
Let's
be
go,
happy
boys.
to finally turn something into a victory for this reason. Because when you look at how close it is for that top 7, just to create that
Difference
little
है
bit of a gap gives
पर
you
इतना
that
नहीं
buffer going into the next 3 matches. Otherwise, you don't really want to be in the chasing pack, but you also want to give yourself a little bit of leeway in case you have a dud game.
4
But
पॉइंट
when
का
it comes to
डिफरेंस है
7
4
and
से
8,
5
it
के
is
बीच
directly tied
Lights,
right now
lights.
to GG and ROC.
Gotta say, keep your eyes on Shopify Rebellion as well.
इसमें किल
It's been a
पॉइंट्स
little
नहीं है
bit of a quiet day
ना
for them. The KP,
ये किल
not
पॉइंट्स
what
आते
they
12 पॉइंट
usually
कितना हो जाता
are.
41 टी
Usually one of the heaviest slaying teams. The placement points certainly not what they normally are. So an opportunity for them in these next games to maybe
तो
just
12
a
और
little
अगर
bit more
6 किल
Shopify Rebellion like when it comes to that points total.
Of course, was getting very scary at the bottom of the
Let's
leaderboard
keep
as well in those
Top 5
elimination
it.
spots. Only 3 more matches now to try and save your... Oh, in those
Rebellion usually are
67
usually
नहीं
one of the
रे
heaviest slaying teams. The
टॉप
placement
3 हो जाते बे बॉयज
where you want to be. Where you do want to be though is
बॉयज लाइक करिए यार लाइक करिए
match 8 coming your way.
तुम यार रॉकेट स्पैम नहीं कर रहे हैं इसको यही चाह रहे हैं रॉकेट स्पैम करते तो हो जाता रॉकेट स्पैम नहीं करते मैं भी ब्रेक लेके आता है गाइस पानी पानी वाटर ब्रेक
Reach your impossible, Lenovo Legion. This
लोग किल
is
लेंगे
cooling.
उतनी बार अपन पानी पी लेट्स गो सही टाइम पे आना गाइस आप लाइक करो भैया यार लाइक करो गाइस लाइक करो
Welcome back, everybody, once again. Game 7 is done. Game 8 just around the corner. And boy, are we in the place we love to be. And that is getting the end of a series to decide who is going to go through the match point finals, who is going to be in that LCQ, and unfortunately who is going to be cramming themselves back into an airplane and finding their way home.
It'd be really sad if people did actually fly home the first day. They were
immediately taken to the airport.
It has happened with some players previously who just like, I don't want to be a part of it anymore. I just want to get back to practicing before the next event. Well, I mean, speaking of next events, it's going to be in Japan. It's going to be the championship finals. I cannot wait. But right now, we of course focus on who's going to get their key crushed here in the GOOOO Arena, because only 3 more matches to try and save your tournament lives, and it is getting pretty dicey down there, but it's also very tight in the top 7 as well. Alliance currently very much lead the way, but there are a few teams that are starting to catch them up a little bit, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. Alliance just seem to be too strong.
They certainly do indeed, but one team that was very strong in that previous game was, of course, Rivals Esports, and let's take a look, and you know, if you want to listen to how it feels to win a game in a tournament like this, well, we've got you covered. Check this out.
ตีท้ายอยู่ม้าแดงกูมันอยู่ม้าแดงกูมันอยู่ซ้ายตัวนึงอยู่ซ้ายตัวนึงอยู่ม้าแดงนั้นตัวนึงนะฝั่ง
เฮียเคเบิลคนเอาเฮียไอ้พี่บ่าวจัดไอ้สัตว์
Duality of emotion you can hear in that. When the first knock goes in, it's like, oh, how did you good night. One of those conversations that the tone of it can change very quickly depending on if you win that fight or if you lose it.
What was he sniffing? That's what I want to know. Does it smell nice? It looked like something apple scented. I'll have to ask him a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, as long as the Newcastle doesn't go down in that fight, I think you're going to be really happy as we see how we've got here so far. 5 matches were concluded earlier as we were looking at World's Edge and E-District. We saw Alliance take 2 of them, 100 Thieves, VKG and SAUL taking the first 5. Before we moved over to Stormpoint, VP taking the first. And as we just saw, Rivals taking match number 7. We do have 1 more on Stormpoint though, and of course we lose 1 more legend as our first support goes out the window.
That support is out of the window. Like you say, Newcastle will not be a part of Stormpoint in this match.
Positive vibes.
On Stormpoint before we head to Broken Moon. Now, if you checked out the games yesterday, and if you didn't, shame on you. But thank you for joining us right now. You'll know that Broken Moon certainly was entertaining when it came to those final 2 games, especially with everything that was on the line, qualification and of course, the jeopardy of potential elimination. So make sure that you're staying tuned for those final 2 games. Before we get there, of course, Dan, we have to go back to Stormpoint.
Entertaining but will be chaotic on Broken Moon, that's for sure. But it is going to be a very different Stormpoint now. Without Newcastle, we saw a lot of teams that were setting up, being able to make a lot of fake cover through that castle wall. Maybe we see a few more ramparts pop up for that reason. I have seen a lifeline selection coming through. This is something that we have seen here or there throughout scrims and can be very beneficial when you think about creating fake cover. That halo, even though it's but not as long as a castle wall, it can be so huge in your chances of winning a game if you get off at the right time.
They're really good at stalling as well. Sometimes you got to cross like awkward open ground. Like imagine that previous zone that we saw where you got like some VP trying to cross awkward ground, right? You can just stall out a little bit, get some meds off very, very quickly, and then continue on your way to a little bit more hard cover. So
JFD guys, JFD!
Have an impact on these games. Will it have an impact on this game? Will she be an influence on who goes on to claim that champion banner? We'll find out very, very soon as we are ready to get into match number 8. It's the last time we will be here on Stormpoint before we go over to Broken Moon.
And I will say,
there's no doubt on which legend to be
this one. 18 ballistics being selected, so expect to see a lot of Devos, Rampages coming into the equation here, and maybe a few fights being had in the early stages as people try and really capitalize on his ultimate.
I thought you were going to say 18 octanes, and then I wouldn't have believed you.
One day, maybe there'll be a match point finals that goes to 17 and octane starts to become picked.
Bring back RevTame meta. I'm not joking. I'm joking. Everyone calm down. Everyone relax. It was a joke.
Now look what you've done.
I'm sorry.
You say something so blasphemous.
Hands up, everyone. That's on me.
The whole production team,
dev team is now heading down to the commentary booth. I'm going to have a serious conversation. Dan, you take it from here.
I'm going to need a partner just for such terrible takes. But yeah, we've got a quick tech pause on the screen just to make sure everyone is sorted, whether there be tech issues or whatnot. But zone-wise, I mean, I'm not going to talk about that, actually. I was going to talk about it, but then I remember in the arena, maybe someone can hear us, so I'm always being a little bit careful. But I can talk about the legends that have popped up. Whilst I mentioned 18 ballistics, there is going to be plenty of Fuse and Pathfinder as well. They're going to be the main inclusions in those compositions alongside them. Bangalore, as expected, some ramp parts popping up, a few Wraiths and Cortex, 1 Lifeline, and 1 Vantage as well.
Ooh, interesting. Who's playing Vantage? Let's take a look. It's going to be SBI Esports who quite simply needs some points. So they're going to need to hope that Vantage can have the impact that she needs to when it comes to picking up KP. Ah, who's winning this? Scissors, shoot. All right, we need both POVs. Didn't really help. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Paper. On. I think we're on the best. It's best of 3. It's an argument.
Who's he playing against?
FX not having it. I think he just won. FX was like best of 3, buddy. To be fair, that's what I do. Initially, it's best of 1 if I win. Then it's obviously best of 3 if I don't win the first one. And then
it goes to best of 5. Best of 7.
Yeah.
Until you then eventually win.
Have to become physically intimidating.
Effect doesn't usually need to go to a best of 3 in a 1v1. He just straight best of 1.
1v3s.
Job done.
He does.
Easy peasy.
Well, let's take a look at the carry value leaderboard. This is statistic which is worked out as essentially how much of an influence to a team a player is being, how important they are for that team, and how much of an impact they are having for their team. And 54 for Effect, you know, you take that number and you look at the next closest and how close the rest of them are with that statistic. Verholst in behind with 34. That is a chasm between how impactful Effect has been for Alliance in comparison to everybody else who's on that leaderboard.
My favourite part is that there's 2 Alliance members on there, and Hack is and he's leaning back in his chair as once more it's Effect and unlucky. I mean, sure, the carry value is there, but you also have to consider an IGL and what they bring to the game. So of course, take these statistics with a pinch of salt. But we've seen today just how effective Effect is, and I didn't mean to say it like that, but alas, here we are.
That still works. I like how Verholst hitting the round of York, by the way. The legend killer. Now I'm going to call him.
Well, if you want to be a legend killer, you might have to take down this man, because he seems unstoppable.
Would you say he looks relaxed there?
I'd say
I think he looks pretty relaxed.
I mean, I'd be pretty relaxed if I was on 94 points going into match 8 as well, because they've not only already secured their spot in the LCQ, they've already secured their spot in match point finals.
I don't know a fun fact about Unlucky.
I would like to know a fun fact about Unlucky.
Doesn't actually use hand warmers. That's actually a tea bag. It's rubbing in his hands.
I was really hoping you were going to give me some Unlucky lore that was going to keep me going, but instead,
special blend of herbs.
Making things up again.
Make him one of the best players in the world.
I do enjoy it when players suddenly notice the camera that's been right in their face for the last 30 seconds as well, and they just feel a little bit uncomfortable, so they have to wave at it. Unless you're Effect, who's just more than happy to lean back in.
One team who has been very, very good today, understandably, as we were taking a quick look at them, has been Alliance, and we're going to
4 subscribers guys, 4
and some of them certainly coming from the POV of that man Unlucky on your
6000
stream, and they have been quite simply superb at times today.
Unbelievable, actually. I think we come to expect it from them, so I don't think we give them enough credit for how they are performing, because you know, if this was a team that we don't usually see performing this well, suddenly doing what they're doing, we would be gassing them up even more so. But it almost seems like we don't need to gas Alliance up because they do it themselves. Tournament in, tournament out. They are the most consistent team in the league, without a doubt, because they've come top 3 over the last 4 lands, excuse me, which just betters Falcons, who have come top 2 over the last 3.
तुम चैट करो तो तब मैं तुमसे बात कर पाऊंगा तब मैं बड़बड़ कर पाऊंगा ऐसे बैठे बैठे क्या ही बड़बड़ करता
Now that's not the case. Now they still get those numbers.
Someone to remind everybody as well. The one thing that eludes Alliance is the win on land. Haven't managed to secure that. Yes, of course, they were champions here at EWC last year, but now that this is an ALGS event, part of the Apex Legends Global Series, this is the one that they want, I think, just to prove to everybody that the second place, third place curse may not be a thing. If they can take it home here, I think that's the one thing missing that Alliance want to add to that trophy cabinet.
And also, can they get it done in fewer games? Because if you think back to EWC, 13 matches it took them.
I remember.
Oh, we remember. We were already packing our bags after match 11, thinking there's no way we come back for 13.
I was on life support at the end.
And alas, Mark was resuscitated, we were brought back into the casting booth at 13 matches, but if they want to be this dominant force and to be respected as the best team in the world, they need to get it done in less than 13 in my opinion. Anyway, that's still a long way to go before we get to match point finals, and we are back underway here in match 8.
We are indeed match 8. 2 to come after this one is where the zone is.
Too much worry, क्या zone है? SR12
have one of those funky pulls up to the
rocket smash कर दो guys, rocket
point, but for me and my money and for anyone
rocket
who's
smash
watching,
कर दो
I
guys.
think that's going Mildan. I want to keep my 100%.
Well, Liquid have a ring console up towards down here, so they're going to be able to move fast, so we'll get a good indication of where they transition to, and of course SAUL have one at the mill to work with as well, but they do have Fuse and Pathfinder, so they need to get to blue before they can start to use said ring console, so they're probably going to be spreading out, looking to try and find ways to get those evos.
Guys, full positive as GMD spam karo, rocket spam karo guys.
Winner of this tournament will get the opportunity to put their key in that trophy and call themselves champions. As we take a little look at the top of Command Center and Twisted Minds, down in 14th at the moment, which I think is a little bit lax for them. Expectations certainly picked up for this team after the ALGS Open back in New Orleans.
Yeah, there's a high skill ceiling for this team, for sure, but they just haven't really been able to get going today, and they are in a dangerous area. 25 points in 14th. There is no guarantee that they're already in the LCQ. They still need to put points on the board here, otherwise they may find themselves down in those bottom 3 and could even be eliminated early.
Next one of those teams as well, down in the bottom 3, 19th place for them at the moment, just 16 points on the board. It's been a very quiet day for these 3 gentlemen from EMEA. But still games to go, 3 of them including this one. A lot of opportunity to pick up points here. Just looking at where the teams are starting to descend, it does seem like a lot of teams are reading this as a mill zone. Also a pretty difficult one to get into late here. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a lot of traffic arriving up at Cito Station.
अरे नहीं रे भाई मैं वॉच पार्टी के लिए बुला रहा था तुम लोग को वॉच पार्टी के लिए आ रहे हो तो बोलो SR12 खेल रहा है यार EWC इंडिया को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है तो उसका वॉच पार्टी इम्पोर्टेंट है सपोर्ट जरूरी है
Well, they've got the advantage as well, remember SBI. I'm surprised maybe that there wasn't a couple of pop shots coming in there from distance. Sniper's mark, there we go, there we see it. That's going to give the information away. SBI can't close that gap, and now we're going to see both teams fully healthy. And we're going to see a beautiful off angle, but no knock initially, but the Whistler will get it done.
The Whistler doing the job, and now they can press up. Oh, wow. And sadly for Unlimit, I cannot see them winning this one. They do get one knock, but this is why you have advantage. You can not only transition from A to B quickly, but you have that sniper in your back pocket as well.
Well, Echo making a little bit of ground. Cross, Jalari, man, makes it a 1v1. Let's not get carried away. Relax. Ika will get the final knock and will allow SBI Esports to get back on their feet. Nobody else in the vicinity. They will be chilling.
Wow, some extra points for SBI. And they're going to be delighted with that. You said they needed points, and an 18th position at the moment. A team fight going in their favor is going to do wonders for them. Now, another team that needs points, RRX. They might be able to sit here for a little while before they have to get pushed by potentially JD Gaming. 100 Thieves look like they've just left them alone. They don't fancy taking that fight against them, and why would they? It's a pretty pointless one to take. Instead, 100 Thieves looking to focus on their rotation instead.
Yeah, 100 Thieves probably thinking just prioritizing placement points at this point. Secure your spot in that match point finals. RRX going to play for this ring console, so they're going to get good zone information. Eventually, when Rohai manages to stick this thing, got a little bit early that time around. Now that they do hit it, well, they will have that information on where they need to head. Just looking across elsewhere, Shopify Rebellion, I just want to keep a bit of an eye on here. We mentioned how bit of quiet set of games up until this point for Shopify. They're over at the wall at the moment, so they're quite a way away from where this zone is going to be going.
Yeah, it's been an interesting day for Shopify Rebellion. If you remember how they were playing on E-District, they were kind of playing edge, and they were hunting down some of those teams and then bullying their way in the late game. And looks like they might have to do something similar here on Storm Point, but I think once Broken Moon comes around, that could really benefit them. If you think about that playstyle and how it changes going into matches 9 and 10, when teams are starting to take a few more risks, looking to take a few more fights, Shopify Rebellion might be able to capitalize.
I think it's important for them to just win a couple of fights in this game as well, just so you have the confidence.
Rocket pump करो guys. Finally मेरा मैं और मेरा मैनेजर आ चुका है.
Potentially Could be a huge few matches here for Shopify Rebellion.
Let's go.
They want to get straight through to match point finals. They don't want to have to come back on Saturday and play through their LCQ. That is going to be brutal. There's not a huge amount of qualification spots available in that LCQ to make grand finals. So the pressure in those games is going to be immense.
Top 7
Yeah, a little bit more than last year. I mean, I think it was only 2 from the LCQ last year, if I remember correctly, but
qualify
available this
finals
year through that
warna
LCQ. So
LCQ
not many, but still enough.
पर
that
last
good teams
top
will
3
be rewarded
नहीं
for
कर
their
पाएगा
positions. As
चांसेस हो डायरेक्ट बाहर
most teams have found their way
और
towards
अपन
the
है
levels. We've got about 6
7th पे
Let's go this way.
top 7 top 7
does occur.
8
There's
7
a few teams who are starting to play checkpoint side. There's still some teams in and around Mill, and I think everyone's starting to second guess themselves that are in one of those positions at the moment. And it is going to pull towards the bridge essentially outside of Mill, probably to
और LCQ में top 6
down Beast and Mill. So will you give me Mill zone on that one?
Mill technically is still within this zone,
you give me that
so
one?
I will give you
100% record, everyone. We're on fire today.
Alliance will be pretty happy about it though. You can see the top left hand side of your screen, but meanwhile RRX looking at go next. Maybe see if they can pick up some damage.
ये 8वां मैच है total 10 मैचेस है इसके बाद और 2 मैच बाकी है
This is both teams who are involved in the elimination strap at the moment, so this could be really influential on who stays down in the doldrums and who has their hands raised. Certainly the
Guys,
end
like
of
करे.
this fight. They have to be careful though, because 100 Thieves are over at checkpoint at the moment, and if they hear this fight,
Yeah, rocket
speed at which they
spam.
can slide down that hill to get involved in the fight in third party cannot
यार
be
लेट हो गया
underestimated. I think that's what we've seen
ना
both teams
जाते
a
मस्त
little bit nervous on overextending for this
150
fight.
views है
Just
150
slides down with his arms raised like he was in the picture. Guns in hand instead.
यार पर कोई लाइक सब्सक्राइब नहीं कर रही है
My carry value, boys.
6000 के लिए और 4 सब्सक्राइबर 4 सब्सक्राइबर गाइस लाइक सब्सक्राइब करो यार सब्सक्राइब करो प्लीज
Points is starting to look pretty good. They are not far off. One more big game and they could be that number
वैसे
1
भी मैं
pick in the P1 draft when it comes to match point
डिजिटल
finals.
दिखा तो मेरे को कोई चीज की
Now a
शर्म
little
नहीं
bit quiet across Storm Point as most people have found their way into the zone. One team that's a very interesting team to just highlight for you.
6000 सब्सक्राइबर जो तुम बोलोगे वो करें
Down on the southern side of where this zone is going is Virtus
सब्सक्राइब
Pro.
कर दो गाइस यस सब्सक्राइब कर दो 9 लोग देख रहे हैं 9 लोग में से कोई
and an assault bin
4 नहीं कर सकता क्या
all the way towards the backside of Mill from zone. So if they don't get spotted out, they might be able to see
Yes, subscribe. Watch out. Yes, absolutely.
Rivals have spotted him.
Oh, they have seen him?
Yeah, Rivals spotted him.
Spotted him with a Sentinel as well. A 4v8 to go alongside it. Here's as it stands though. We did check in with Fusion a little bit earlier. They're only 2 points ahead of that cutoff. But still, I mean, like I said, Twisted Minds. I wouldn't even say they're safe.
तेरे तो तब तक मार दिया रहता है ना मी
Look at this game. Still 2 games to come after this.
Yeah, there's a lot of points available.
There's a huge amount of points available. You could go
मी तू रहता तब तक मार दिया रहता ना
the amount of time that we have left in these games. Glass shatters. Stone Cold does not appear this time around. Let's go next.
But sad shot.
Think about where that zone is going and how they get towards this zone. RX still very close to them, by the way.
अच्छा सिस्टम रहता ना यार क्या फयास कसम अच्छा सिस्टम रहता ना ये खेलता मैं यार मजा आ रहा है देखने पड़ा भाई को पड़ा भाई को पड़ा भाई को पड़ा पर क्या करे यार आगे पीछे जाना ना होता तो
Maybe for nothing. But I guess you're right. A little bit of panic. That's good reason.
किसका बोला था कोच इज बैक बोलो क्या एनालाइज करना है
Down here, so the ult maybe feels worth
गेम
it
कुछ
just
का
as
गेम
an
प्ले
offensive option. By the way, Virtus Pro have found their way into zone on that southwest angle that you were talking about.
देखो देखो मैच देखो
It's just
देखो
followed up by Alliance, but they're currently
ऐसे 12 के पास मस्त जोन है देखो ये ऊपर टॉप कॉर्नर में दिखता रहेगा येलो वाला येलो येलो यहाँ चला गया यहाँ पे था इस साइड पे सब्सक्राइब गाइस यस सब्सक्राइब
have had to do every single game we've seen them really playing edge and then forcing their way in, but they might then walk into Alliance after this if they win it.
कोच कभी नहीं खेलता थे मोटिवेट करता है स्टोल को मोटिवेट कर स्पैम कर रॉकेट स्पैम करो पॉजिटिव वाइब दिलाओ Shopify eliminate. अबे सोल kills निकाल रहा था भाई. सोल नॉक हुआ. हाँ वही तो बोलो. मारा भी ना सामने. दिल से गॉड लाइक. यहाँ पे दिल से इंडिया है भाई. जो एस12 रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है इंडिया को. हैव टू मोटिवेट us by playing God game. God. शाबाश शाबाश. कहाँ तब तक. गुड गेम. सॉरी मेरा दिल है ना इसलिए तो ये दिल हटा देता हूँ. रिएक्शन हटा देता हूँ. बस हटा. I can. चलो.
He literally just lets Effect and Unlucky do what they want. He says, you two go sort them out. I'll keep an eye on the rest of the lobby here. And they've done enough to scare Gaming Gladiators away.
Gaming Gladiators now have to commit to checkpoint. They've gone all the way around the zone, but 100 Thieves will be waiting for them. This is a little bit closer to where the zone is going to be going. We'll take a look back at that fight we just saw between JDG and Shopify Rebellion. Joyful managed to get one, but you saw it was just damage coming in from so many different angles. It was tough for him to really clutch that situation. Twisted Minds have been eliminated as well, and they are going to start looking over their shoulders as we head towards Broken Moon.
Crazy Raccoon have just had 2 knocks as well, thanks to the
so 51 points हो गए. क्या बात है. 51.48 से बता दो क्या हुआ जुर्म में. हाँ मेरे साथ कर ले भाई कंट्रोवर्सी. पर सामने बंदा अगर 10 स्टेबल हुए तो बस बहुत. क्या बात है. 200 जी पे सही है. देख रहे हो गाइस.
But it's SBI elsewhere who are getting kills themselves. Now, can Game Gladiators reset here? The charge rifle is raining down from RRX though.
Yeah, RRX are just doing damage from up in the hill. Even Alliance have sent one member to get involved in this as
हो
well.
गया. 6 पे है सोल.
As potential KP. Blast will still be alive, using all the meds just to
guys साथ रॉकेट पे स्पैम करते रहो यार. रॉकेट
100 Thieves have been eliminated. That will be them gone. GG
100 Thieves गया.
Alliance collects gets more KP. And this man's wallet is getting extremely full. On kill points as well. Effect almost added another one there. It's bulging in his trousers now. The wallet.
हाँ इन लोग अगर चिकन मारा तो 200 रुपए मैं दे दूंगा. 4 चलो कोच के साथ 4 प्लेयर लोग के भाई. वो कार्ले बोल रहा व्यूअर्स को देगा साथ तो तेरे को भी चांस. सोच देखते रहे 2-3 अकाउंट से देखते रहे. नहीं हाँ नाइस. रिटेलिएट. दोनों के
25 seconds left on this Tempest as well. One more player is going to fall from the skies as ROC will be eliminated in the meantime.
मारो.
They would have wanted in that little strafe as the player fell down from the clouds, but will quite happily collect the KP that they had. Crazy Raccoon just been eliminated as well.
फोन खरीद के आया. रुको. यस दोनों किया बे. 3 असिस्ट. अच्छा टीम का 5 किल शायद या फिर 2 किल पता नहीं. पर ये बंदे का 2 किल था. लेट्स गो. 4th पे आ गया. सोल 4th पे आ गया. लेफ्ट स्टैंडिंग. चलो लेट्स गो. लेट्स गो. 8 ही टीम है. अभी प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट्स पे जाओ. प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट्स साला 1 और 3 जिंदा है बे. सीन वो है पर 1 और 3 हाँ तो अपन अब टॉप 3 इजी जा सकता है बे. 4 पॉइंट के डिफरेंस है. राइवल है किधर. राइवल 10 लोग देख रहे. गाइस 10 लोग लाइक सब्सक्राइब करो. रॉकेट्स पंप करो. नाइस माइक. अरे क्या बात है. टोटल 7 किल. अरे नहीं 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 बैकअप 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 नाइस नाइस 11 किल नहीं 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 नहीं
This could be a game we look back at for
Chibe.
keeping their tournament hopes alive.
NT top 5 मतलब 11 प्लस 5 16 पॉइंट्स आए 16 पॉइंट्स आए थर्ड पार्टी हो गया थर्ड पार्टी नहीं होता तो हो जाता 1 और 4 तो राइवल अपन राइवल को मारा ना शायद हाँ अपन राइवल को मारा मतलब अपन टॉप 3 लेट्स गो अरे राइवल का भी एक बंदा था ना
of taking that number 1 spot in the POI draft, and they still have 2 games left and points available in this one.
I think Alliance has spotted out one of the rotators from BK Gaming who was trying to find a spot inside of that zone. And then
जल्दी खत्म करो nice top BK Gaming है
Well, Alliance just backing off slightly. Actually, Unlucky stays in a very aggressive position, but now
नहीं मैं नहीं खेलता पर सपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ ऐसे 12 को खेलना है पर खेलने के लिए सिस्टम अच्छा नहीं था प्रथम भाई वेलकम वैसे तो वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम प्लीज 6000 सब्सक्राइब के लिए अपन 4 सब्सक्राइबर दूर है तो सब्सक्राइब कर दो गाइस
On this cannon here, they can hold this for quite some time and force the others to push towards them.
Will not have that Tempest, and nor will RRX. It's going to expire in the next 5 seconds or so on both sides. What ultimates are available?
लगता है अभी वॉच पार्टी करना पड़ेगा तो PGMI में भी खेलने के टाइम पे भी वॉचिंग नहीं आते फिर
Outside of the elimination spots as well.
RX do have a core stick. Potential for some gassy endings here for the other teams.
ELRR ELL
Identical composition on the side of Alliance and Team Liquid, both fuse, and there is the other load this blow.
ALL तो भाई 2 मैच में 70 पॉइंट लिया 70 पॉइंट समझ रहा साला ये लोग तो इसका गाइस लाइक से सब्सक्राइब यस प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट जो फर्स्ट आएगा चिकन मारेगा उसको 12 मिलता है और साले लोग ने 2 चिकन मारा है ऊपर से एक 20 और एक 22 की
I mean, this game is far more important for the likes of RRX and Liquid than it is for Alliance. But they go up, they go over, and they find a rock.
The evac movement, and
now
now they're sending it on to Liquid.
all घुसा तो इन लोग को भी घुसना चाहिए ना
That can be important. Unlucky. We'll make those numbers a little bit more comfortable, but it's an easy cleanup as RRX will swoop in behind the fight between Alliance and Team Liquid, and will call themselves Game 8 champions.
Alliance picked up second place there, I believe. RRX will take first. They get some much needed points to send them up to 14.
RRX first है लोग साला देख
To send their points total up, and they are going to be so close to taking that position away.
अबे सोल को दिखाओ बे
First place in that POI draft. Now they're only going to be 8 points short of it.
क्या बात अबे भाई उसको दिखता भी रहेगा क्या कुछ बस
between themselves and the bottom 3.
Interesting game.
guys 3 more subscriber
These last 2 games on
let's
Broken
go
Moon. How many teams do we see down in those elimination spots going into that game, find enough points to elevate themselves out of it, to give themselves the opportunity to go into that LCQ? Very, very interesting to keep your eyes and your ears on those elimination spots and how frequently in game, as it stands, those places are going to swap around.
छोटा अरे पर छोटा छोटा आँख में भी बाल एकदम पूरा आगे
are currently in the danger zone, and they have to now try and do what they've just seen teams do in this match 8 by getting points on the board and taking themselves out.
Oh, 6 kill था 9 point
Off the elimination zone, RRX get 19 points.
I'm sorry guys
Liquid with 12 and go next. I mean 15 points on the board.
9 point है मतलब 9 point अपन जाएगा
Yeah, they just need to
पहले मरा ना 2 point तो मतलब अपन टॉप 3
themselves from thinking about elimination
शायद
to coming back and playing tomorrow in that LCQ. We'll take a look at the team breakdown.
ये बचा वही था ना हाँ तो फिर टॉप 3
as they move up into 14
Top 3 be.
after that first place match placement.
Yeah, that's going to be
Chat क्या बोलती
looking back at
chat?
this one saying, all right, now we've got ahead of the chasing pack. We just
Soul,
need to be
yes.
consistent going into 9 and 10. We don't need to do anything crazy.
Overall का weight.
LCQ is all we're thinking about. They want to get further. They want to get to match point
Yes.
finals.
अभी
They need
आएगा.
another win realistically if they want to get into that top 7.
And Roihai doing it all with his eyes closed. Very important stuff. Imagine how good he's going to be when he opens them. Well, I say.
Terrifying.
Wake the man up.
Game Gladiator is currently hold the
चल लेने के बाद
position
भी.
on 50 points for ROC, Crazy Raccoon, NRG, JD Gaming, Liquid, all
Kiss
in
पे.
touching distance, and Shopify Rebellion not far behind either. It is also very nervy when you look down at that bottom 3.
Yeah, bottom 3
Top
is
five.
very, very
Top
close.
five.
When you look at Fusion on 22, it's only 25 for Unlimited, so it's not like there's a chasm they have to cross.
हैशटैग 5 और 5 लोग देख रहे हैं क्या बात है भाई एक सब्सक्राइब किया था चला भी गया 2 पॉइंट्स का बफर है फर्स्ट सेकंड तो भूल जाओ भाई डबल पॉइंट से सीधा
Miss it at all because we still need to find out who's going to make match point finals and who is going to be going home. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
जो जाएगा उन लोग का वो टूटेगा लोग को जो की मिला वो टूटेगा भाई तो जैन वाले पीछे से मारे अपने को वो पीछे से नहीं होता तो फिर हो जाता था इजी फाइनल्स में सोचना बड़े बड़े ऑर्ग के बीच में अपना भी ऑर्ग है मतलब जो यूएई का रहेगा दुबई का तो उसको भी चाहिए रहेगा तो बॉस को बोलना इधर जाके मार्केटिंग करते थोड़ा जुगाड़ लगाओ बोल 2 महीने तक चलने वाला इसी वाले लोग का पूरा कौन क्या बात है
Oh, dude. I don't even want hair anymore.
あるかも全然。
じゃ
3分ね。全員3分ね。120、120、1人割り。右はめっちゃ固めてる。ずっと。ずっと。
वो था चिलो के खेलते कूदे
かな。俺ゆっくり前使えるねこれ。右弾いて。右弾いて。
あ、チロケ。
マジゆっくり前使えるよこれマジで。一個ずつ前だな。マジ右に俺も使ってよずっと。俺。エバック1個あるけどだな。いやエバック使わなくていいよこれ。絶対使わなくていいよ。敵がバリウルドで俺らを潰す。
あら敵が無理。
敵側でね。やっちゃう右が取るよ一緒に。右が取って俺も出るよ。何か左側サイド。待ってこの左側サイド。俺次使ったこのサイドよ。オッケー。前。巻いて。ナイス。レッツゴー。ナイス。でかすぎ。ナイス。どうだ？ナイス。
Welcome back, everyone. RRX keeping the dream alive. A team that was sitting in 18th place have now moved up to 14th, where the competition is tight. Literally, the bottom 3 teams at risk of elimination. A point difference separates all of them.
क्या बात है करा
3 point spread, whatever it is there.
तू PUBG देखने जाना PUBG के लैन होने वाला है ना तब जाना इंडिया से कोई तो आने वाला है
The teams above them 4 points up. It's not that far off. So any team that has a decent game, it doesn't have to be a win. It could be a 3rd place with maybe 3 kill points. That could be enough to secure a spot into the last chance qualifiers tomorrow.
And guys, don't forget, while you're here tuning in to collect your Twitch drops, today is Friday. Make sure you guys hit claim on the Crimson Crasher rate and tune in for the next 2 days if you guys already missed out on that Nemesis skin. Saturday, out of retirement Nessie Hollows rate. As well as Sunday, my favorite thing here for this drop is that Script Rider emblem to collect here.
Last 2 match बाकी guys, last 2 match top 5 रहना है
today's 10-game series for Pool B. Moving on to Broken Moon.
Yeah, and that's with the ballistic ban heading into match number 9 as well. So a lot of the aggression that we saw there on the final map of Storm Point will not quite exist. Now this leaves things open for, of course, the Bangalore, which we saw a little bit more there at the tail end of Storm Point, but I feel like Mad Maggie might be the pick for a lot of these teams that are looking to get aggressive, to make up some ground, to avoid getting knocked out here in day number 2. But again, it's extremely close there, so it's hard to kind of predict the psychology of our players, the mentality. Do they want to try to play safe because it's so tightly packed there in the bottom 6, bottom 17, or are they going to want to get aggressive? That might be something that's held on to for game number 10.
So true, right? Because, you know, you have the Pathfinder still available to help cross that distance. Fuse here too, but we're moving on to Broken Moon. And you know when there is a lackluster available pool for legends that help you rotate, it can get pretty tricky here on Broken Moon, man. These chokes are so brutal. So a lot of our teams that know where they stand in these overall standings.
Let's go.
The thing is, while we don't have the same kind of movement as other legends provide, we still have that utility, right?
Ronaldo कब आएगा Ronaldo? Prize देने के time पे आएगा trophy.
Some of that, but you've also got the Mad Maggie speed boost when she throws down the wrecking ball. So there are still some options here, but like you had mentioned as well, the big one, it's gonna be the Pathfinder. You would have to imagine.
Let's go.
He's gonna see a lot more here, as well as nearly a little bit over half the lobby has already picked it going into Broken Moon.
Ooh, Pathy, Bangalore tied. 12 picks here for both legends. As we get started with our first game on Broken Moon. No ballistic. We saw all the ballistic in that previous game, game 8 on Storm Point here. As we take a look at RRX, the team that felt a lot of that
zone
batao. Zone patiently here, just so that way they can feel safe. But are they really safe, gamers? Points separates themselves and the rest of the lobby who is at risk of elimination.
Yeah, 20th is currently Fusion with 22, so that's a 14-point split between them and the bottom of the leaderboard. And we just saw RRX take, what was that? I think like a 19-point game. Fusion can do the same because the 19-point game is kind of, you know, like an average win overall. So it's not out of the questions for Fusion to be able to make it. But here on Broken Moon, getting a look at our first poll, and it is going up to the northwest side of the map there at Dry Gulch. That's going to be SBI Esports, another team that is sitting there on the bubble that needs a good performance here. Currently in 19th place. They get the zone, pulling to them. They've got the ring console. They've got the survey beacon as well to utilize to try and figure out what's going to be the god spot for this ring. And this is where they can turn things around for themselves.
Yeah, one of the teams rocking the Mirage too, so you could lean maybe into that Renaissance man out here as they're going to be able to play objective, having that ring console, that survey beacon rock is already on the way, where that Evil Harvester is over to the south side of SBI, so it's actually maybe an inevitable first fight that we're going to be seeing between SBI and Rock, with a lot of teams already making their rotation on these accelerated zip lines.
But it's VK Gaming that we're on board with right now, a team who has been having a standout performance here in the pool play so far, helping me out in the fantasy league as well.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
they are moving their way now through Hazmat Tunnel. Will avoid a lot of fighting as they come their way. Looks like Twisted Minds are taking plenty of time over Terraformer to hit up both the scans, and so VK Gaming will have a free rotate through. They do have to deal with possibly NRG or SBI on their way into this zone, but VK Gaming are on the move.
SBI didn't want to take that fight when we saw Rock make their rotate to the north side of that Evil Harvester, because SBI were denied an Evil Harvester. It didn't spawn over by Dry Gold. Sure, they had the survey, they had the ring console, but they didn't want to try to take that fight already.
ये करेगा ना, इससे मालूम पड़ता है बंदे किधर है.
Over on the survey beacon, Vaxon being on that Pathfinder,
किधर
and
किधर
really
है.
trying to settle their way into the high ground here. Having that information and having the rampart really comes in clutch
ये
with those
सही था.
accelerated walls.
Yeah, between Rock and SBI Esports, a tale of two different teams and consequences for these next two matches. For Rock Esports, it's about
Guys, like करें, membership अभी auto renewal है. क्या बात है?
the day, surviving the tournament, making it on to game number 3.
सही है.
And now with Rock being able to get further in, they're going to be
क्या
playing
zone
on
है तू? मस्त
the
zone.
back end side of Dry Gulch.
That's
It'll be the slow side of the zone. But we're already seeing some teams teetering their way on up there. RRX being one of the
29 rupees
northern
तो है.
side. We'll see if they're scouted
Members,
out
members,
early on.
members.
Rock can stop them from moving forward.
As it stands right now, look at that cutoff, 25 for Unlimit. Literally 1 point difference between themselves and Evos. We
ये
can see
teleport सही है.
Wraith portals coming out,
Teleport
making
मारो,
them
मारो,
rotate,
वापस
taking a look
घुसो.
at NRG who are approaching that shot that we saw SBI avoid Rock earlier, closer to that Evil Harvester. Making their next move, you can see in the minimap they have that next ring console scan here too. Approaching Dry Gold, so there's already 5 other teams, make it 6 honestly, that have already made their way into that next zone. Shopify taking a much more safer route on the accelerated zip lines on the northern side, where there is a survey beacon on the edge of the zone.
Yeah, that's going to be nice for them, moving their way on in. SBI Esports are able to plug in their third and get their Bangalore back on in. With a negative rotate. Will slow them down, of course. The res slowing them down immensely. And now really put behind the 8 ball here as they've got NRG coming up on top of them. VP finding themselves in a skirmish here up against Unlimited.
It's a great reset from SBI after Rock was able to get that one player earlier. That free 1 KP here for them to situate themselves up on that high ground, while Unlimit looking at that player closer to that gravity cannon here. Taking some shots with the G7 too, but trying to hold a much wider angle here as Unlimit knowing where they're positioned. 17 overall, 25. They need to get this KP now. They have to get more aggressive.
Wrecking ball in, but they don't have much in the way of utility here, as no riot drills exist. Yulari Man is caught inside of that mother load right now, but a lot of damage was dropped down onto Lou, slowing down VP. We'll be able to hit that bat. Nade comes in, he dodges it just in time. The riot drill here as Stuvie jumps on in, and Lou gets taken out.
Great follow-up. Love the communication that we could see right there from Unlimit, holding 2 different angles. The Pathfinder for the accelerated zipline to get right back into the building here too. Looking at the other team that's right across from them, while they do tear to take this fight. Evos were also looking ahead, go next to the south side of core, but Unlimit could at least clear this northern rotate, where they'll still have that ring console, the Evo Harvester that they probably already got right behind them, and the survey beacon that we saw Shopify Rebellion rotate from originally from the north side of core.
Yeah, great disengage there from BP. Despite losing out on Wu, they, left pretty early on to go for that res. They are a team currently on that 7th place bubble, and with 52 points to their name, we had that cutoff at about 58 points yesterday, so they know they cannot throw away this game. They cannot go away with a 0-point game. For Fusion, though, they might be able to find the kill here. RRX losing out on one. The Bangalore ult coming out as well might actually slow them down just long enough to get the res.
Gets that trade-off originally there with that flatline too. Trying to get the suppressed fire, but you have to worry about the Mad right through the wall here too. Retzi gonna be able to pop this shield back. Fusion right now on the other side, trying to closing that distance.
I believe that might have been Rock's. Rock from the other side, but trying to push in on a Caustic. We know how difficult that is. It's going to be enough to slow them down at the very least. That's VK Gaming on the kill feed. Ends up getting such a good pile up here. Just feel like alone. RX gonna be able to walk away before turning around to get that finishing blow. Fusion who try to come in for that third party now, as they're trying to also reset here with the Caustic. One of the few teams rocking the Caustic here, and you can get away with it a lot better here considering that Crypto, obviously, one of the band legends. Shopify now move up. MT takes a lot of that damage here with that Devo 2 in hand. Trying to see if they can get the reset, but it's been team after team trying to make their approach on top of this bridge. They are able to finish off Nana and now Shopify Rebellion. Take purchase here on top, but RRX looking to try and restabilize themselves. They find out that one member of Fusion, but here's Shopify Rebellion now looking to hunt them down. It's going to be Unlimit who ends up finding that last kill onto January. Yeah, Unlimit wanted to get involved here too. They were on that bridge hungry. Well, from afar, Rock holding that northern side. Shopify Rebellion though, looking around to see where can they find themselves. They don't have that information for that next ring console that's over to the side, and there's 4 other teams waiting for them on the other side of that bridge, with Rock Esports, who had gotten that early rotate, are now situated on the roof of that building, with Rohai still alive here alongside Red Team. Yeah, it seems like Rock was Rebellion to really force this. We saw alert very early on Shopify Rebellion taking that northern slow side of the zone. Now RRX, again, our winners for the last game. They cannot afford to drop a single point, or excuse me, this game, not any points. They at least picked up 2 KP, but they need so much more than that to feel safe in the top 17. Leaning into those placement points. Now as we take a look, 18 squads still left. Not gonna take any shots here, having to play this safe, seeing if they can clutch this out and get the res here without congested. This POI is so many teams. The only teams that are not in that next zone, just 3 teams alone in this entire lobby. It's Go Next, VP, and Alliance, and that was because VP had to get that reset that we saw earlier onto Lou. JD Gaming playing on the southwestern side of this next zone by Production Yard, taking it slow. Will eventually have to collapse.
top 5 indicated. Top 5 भी देखा ना बहुत है.
To rotate from the western side.
Boost मिल जाएगा.
Rebellion. They're just looking to hold out the teams coming in from the northeast side. You got Unlimit, Go Next, possibly even Evos, who are starting around the edges there. As you can see,
but that's look, that's look.
To try and find that flank up against
क्या
Evos.
बात है?
Go ahead and back away for now, not overextend on this. Just in Minds, unfortunately, another team that is right there on the bubble. 27 points, 16th place. So yeah, that spread amongst the bottom teams, not far at all. So honestly, even a 4-point game might be enough to really put you on top. It's crazy, literally just point difference. That can make a huge difference right now. Twisted Minds, rocking the Pathfinder, Bangalore, and that Caustic. But we take a look at Go Next right now. Trying to close in that gap. Full blue Evos, though. That's something to know as they try to approach the team that has full purple Evos inside this building. Taking a different off angle as they try to open things up with the Arc Star. Nice smoke just to block out the line of sight from at least one entryway. Lariman does back up to the rest of Unlimited as Henchman blind fires in, gets some damage off and tries to find another angle here, but that's going to be the first knock. Subi goes down.
अबे ऐसे 12 भी है.
Evos with a third party gets a knock on onto Henchman. Unlimit will not survive the fray. Will go next. Adnam backs away just in time, but he is getting hunted down.
And what a nade from Evos too, without having to get involved if they were just slightly late to that 3P, now only leaving Adnam to stay alive. Evos unsure here, as they want to try to chase down the straggler, talking about the points that they need. Evos running the lifeline, having that golden and light mag 2 on top of it. This is team being in 18th place, only having 2 games of an opportunity to put themselves in the safe zone to compete in the last chance qualifier.
Desperately needed points here for Evos, but also now start to position themselves for honestly a game-winning position. They're wrapping far around, looking for more of this. Adnam on the other side, they have spotted him, tagged him. He's eating ring damage. All of this, and it's just a matter of time. They should be able to pick this one up. No, he gets the syringe off just in time. Evos sending the hunting party of Clutch and Nate after this one, but Adnam will surely go down here, and that's going to be go next, getting eliminated.
They had to do that. Evos had to do that. Not only was that extra KP going in their favor, but Go Next being one of the teams very close to where they're sitting in the overall standings. Another team at risk. As we take a look at RRX, still also with 39 points. Only a solo, by the way, as that conduit is trying to keep the stream alive for this team.
Throughout all of that, by the way, Twisted Minds also fell in 17th place with 27 points. So there's a huge opportunity here now for a few squads to really try and peel themselves away from the rest of the pack. Evos taking a huge opportunity there now in 16th place. But here's ROC Esports with the first knock. That's 2 actually. Zainu and MT down. Now Rock Esports will eliminate Shopify Rebellion, really establish themselves here on the top spot of the zone.
So early on too. Remember, they had rotated here from that Evo Parser that's close to Gaming Gladiators on the map. Got that immediately rotated on top of the roof using that Pathfinder zipline. They saw the fight going down on that bridge, but we take a look at the replay of the fight that we just saw. But we saw them rotate on top of that bridge. We saw them pressure out Shopify Rebellion that were forced to rotate from that south side, and now they hold that northern side too of that next zone.
60 points हो गया.
Still solo, by the way. Alive. Evo's trying to find him.
2 points.
Involved in this fight. Going down with Hockey's here. Effect tries to keep it alive here. Another fight. He take out Gaming Gladiators.
Quick Raz coming out from Alliance. They're gonna try and punch them on in as Evos making their way in on that north side. Rock keeping an eye on them this entire.
ALL कितना मारेगा बे?
Actually spotted out the RX player, but Evos gets one knock onto MG Clutch, securing that thirst as well. And ROC are doing everything right to try and get the victory here.
I have no idea how the solo from RRX that dropped on their heads, Evo specifically dropping on that solo's head, is still alive. It's Red Sea. They're going to try to counter-rotate over, trying to follow up that same pathing as NRG are right on top of them. They understand the situation, trying to look them out here as Hoodie's forced to pop the shield bat.
Crazy, just on the other side of this car right now. Nate has no
भाई
awareness.
बंदा
So far, he does get spotted out. Hoodie, the later rifle here, spots him out. So Evos again, with a huge pickup, a huge kill, knocking out RRX, who are currently 14th place with 39 points. Evos 10 points off from them, catching up to it. But now you can see NRG are looking to try and eliminate them, understanding possibly that this is a 2v3, especially never mind with that respawn beacon down. They know it's a 2v3.
The clutch res right now, out of the line of sight of NRG, right behind the truck. Talk about bringing some attention here too, while NRG hold this other lip. As
अरे साला RVL भी है बे.
behind them, you gotta be careful here from afar. Nice pressure poke though. While rival esports are also looking down here. Team Liquid neighboring that same building with Alliance right to their south.
Timmy was able to find a knock. Or excuse me, Baxlon was able to find a knock onto Timmy. This creates a huge window of opportunity now for Evos to push up. NRG are able to get that res. But you can see that Evos were able to cover so much ground because of that knock. Throughout all of this, Alliance now are making their way up. They are on the fast side of the zone. They've got to move with it as Team Liquid are looking to keep them backed out. Right now,
RPL जीत रहा है कभी.
being utilized from them too. Sheila has popped out here for Sykes.
Meanwhile, the collapse here over to that north side, Rock, who had that high ground down originally on that building are looking down at JD Gaming, who are trying to share that building with them. Evo's though are looking down at energy. They're trying to take the side here too. It's a huge power building right to their south as they try to approach the motherload to start things off. But Hoodie took way too much damage.
Now that's going to be Rock.
Disco, come on, Disco.
To hold on to their position for NRG though. Timmy holding on for dear life.
Joe Gaming,
The
yeah.
Halo comes down. Empty clutch
Joe
goes
Gaming,
to
yeah,
the
Joe
lead.
Gaming.
Build gets behind some covering here. Might just be enough to keep them alive for now. And have that opportunity to hit that bat to Sheila Sykes, keeping them at bay with the covering fire as they try to go for the peak.
Look at that difference of having that lifeline to at least reset as quickly as possible. Now it's only up to Timmy. And here you have Evo's with the lifeline to get that remote res just as quickly. Timmy trying to run for his life, but they're trying to take out NRG.
Throughout all this though, ROC were able to deal with the on top of them.
Ariel gaya? Ariel gaya?
Throughout all this, again, Alliance did end up taking that first place spot in the group right now with 126 points. They will be first seed going into our games on.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Comfy here as Alliance now move up. Full red Evo looking to get the res here too, with Team Liquid right alongside them because they have to get their own res. Onto Hagwadis being on that constant. Talk about some pressure here as they try to pepper it in, but then they take way too much damage. Unlucky.
Top 4.
Alliance continue on their domination. I'm pretty sure how in Pool A had what? 32, 33 KP. Now overtook him as Evo's with McClutch and the Devo gets that knock onto Hockeys.
They're just able to run up instantly, 3-2-1 him and take him out. Alliance though still have effect and unlucky Alliance.
Let's go.
Drop on top of Evo and finish them off. Evo still pick up some much needed points. Unlucky now, forced to back off.
Nine. Chill mar.
SAUL also just down to Sharky.
Meanwhile, Rock wants to get as much KP as they want. They know they are on God's spot. They have the high ground. They're looking at the solo of SAUL. They're looking at the solo of Alliance, and it's just a matter of time before Rock comes out on top here if they keep holding these arrows.
Sharky's got his
Chal. Sharky, chal. 1v3.
And there's the drop down.
1v3. Chal. Sharky.
We'll be able to drop in. Oh, nice tracking. Oh
my
God. Rocky Sports secure the dub off of a very well-earned God spot. Remember, they moved initially, Vicky, into Drive.
Anti.
Ran into SBI, got that knock, and played off Cryo. Got into God spot and held it down the entire game, dealing with every threat coming their way.
So close.
Game for Rock to win, because now this puts them in the top 3. Before that game alone, they were sitting in 8th place overall. Now they can be a little
तक बाय रोग नहीं तक बाय अपने को फिलहाल फाइनल्स पे फोकस करना फाइनल जाना है फटक अब इसको तो दिख रहा है भाई
58 points was the cutoff for top 7, but today with the Lions being the only point sponge in the lobby, that does actually bring it up a little bit. So that's a lot of room for them to breathe. They, of course, still have to stay on their toes, right? They can't drop a 0-point game
Finals
going into game number 10, but that alone,
let's go.
There, that 22 points they secured in match number 9 is a huge sigh of relief.
Can we talk about the fact that Alliance just drops like a casual 17 KP? Like, what? The way that we keep seeing them fry, Effect with 9 KP alone, I believe this has now set up Effect to have a total of 38 points throughout the series. The all-time highest for a series in EWC. Rock, though, finish off first place with 10 KP.
Yeah, and for Alliance, again, this is kind of what we see, right? We see the heights of Alliance when they have a lot of these cross-map rotations. And they did have one of the farthest rotations coming up from Bionomics, going all the way up to Dry Gulch. They were part of that huge pileup on the southwest, or excuse me, southeast side of Dry Gulch, and we just know how good
international #2
dealing with the rodents there when they're all piled up like that.
We need to see some of that consistency. Look at this, 133 points. Are you kidding me? Just to put into perspective,
Let's go, baby. Let's go, guys. Like, subscribe, kare, like, subscribe.
With 117 points on top of Falcons, who had 104. Just crazy performance here from Alliance to soak up a lot of that KP from the teams that desperately need it, and even better.
Let's go, let's go.
Playing off a game-winning position and preventing other teams from rotating from the north side.
We knew how good the fighting duo of Unlucky Effects were, but now they are really proving it. And we're going to take a short break here before we have one last match breakdown.
Finals.
Right after this.
Finals में करेंगे. क्या मैं लकी चार्म हूँ? क्या नस्तर हूँ? शायद मैं नस्तर हूँ. उन्नति. समझ? Fast. Great power comes with great responsibility. Now we have that power, so we will use this power on last match. Let's go. अगर हाईलाइट बनाएगा तो मजा आएगा. क्या देख?
Dear Papa, my studies have been very rewarding. They have introduced a new game to practice our skills. No abilities, no healing.
Ankit bhai, welcome Ankit bhai, welcome to the stream. Ankit bhai यार सब्सक्राइब कर दो यार प्लीज. 6000 के लिए मेरे को खाली 3 ही सब्सक्राइबर चाहिए. 3 ही सब्सक्राइबर गाइस. 3 सब्सक्राइबर चाहिए. कोई भी 3 सब्सक्राइब कर दो गाइस. समझ लो गाइस. 3 सब्सक्राइबर. We only need 3 सब्सक्राइबर. इतना तो कर सकता ना गाइस. मतलब #1 को देखो थोड़ा. देखते मैच चालू हो. मैच चालू हो. Did क्या चिल्ला था?
Do you believe in magic?
नहीं. डायरेक्ट जाड़िया.
Everyone has to push towards us. I think Thieves, you come to me. I'm coming. I'm going for you.
ये लोग थोड़ा पेंटो एग्रेसिव कर.
It's gonna be top 2 versus 2, I think.
Go.
All you backs. Yeah, play here.
यहाँ पे सीन हो गया. यहाँ पे सीन हो गया. पुश के ना वहाँ पे सीन हो गया. अंदर से खेलते तो हो जाता. कोई ना गाइस, कोई ना. अपनी पावर अपन यूज करने वाले. Three, two, one, jumping.
Careful. I'm seeing lots here. On backs.
यार उड़ के आया उसमें फिर ही मार दिया.
Let's fucking go. Good fucking shit.
Yeah.
Scintillating win by Rock Esports. Esports is
एक मैच के लिए इतना मत चालू कर
qualifying for our championship.
ठीक है guys बड़ा डील है
That there's a lot of teams, even though Alliance is performing well, that have really caught my eye. I'm sure yours is home as well, for how well they're performing under the pressure. Let's bring it back in the studio and talk a little bit about it, especially with my analysts, guys right here, and gals, Snipe Down and Glitter Explosion. This is one, I'll start with you, Lauren, where we're starting to see in some ways, these new faces, SAUL, Rock coming in and dominating on the stage that we haven't seen yet. But also, in terms of the group,
qualified, yes, did my we qualified. Let's go. Let's go. Assettle for the win, guys. Assettle for the win. Love from Assettle. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you. Assettle by Assettle. By हम 2018 से 2018 से Assettle. Yes. आज Assettle को देख के बहुत अच्छा दिल खुश हो गया यार. इतना मन करे कि मैं वहाँ जाऊँ जाके इतना चिल्लाऊँ क्या बताऊँ समझ रहे
so far, Jayhawk. But one team that just got a win here, we haven't talked too much about. SAUL Esports, Legacy, Jesco, and Sharky. These guys have been there. Sharky, a land champion as well. Having the ability to perform like this on this stage, got to be a tremendous amount of confidence for them.
Absolutely. First off, I want to say shout out to the SAUL fans, because every time I've ever tweeted about them, they come in droves. I think
some great fans.
Genuinely, I think they might have one of the biggest fan bases on the ALGS. So I'm really excited to see them maybe get to a future land and show out like we've seen some other fan bases. But SAUL, one of those teams that I really do believe in the ticket kara do tak bhai to thrive. Snipe talked about it earlier.
Tak bhai kasam se bolo itna chillunga yaar joker se bhi zyada chillunga tak bhai.
S8, if you know anything about those three players, they are a little bit emotionless when it comes to all the sort of negative things, and at the same time with the highs, they don't have these crazy pop-off celebrations even in the most wild of games. And so sure, at the beginning maybe they had a little bit of a slower start, but they started to kind of find a rhythm. They got a big win, I think, in match 5 or 6, and then we keep continuing to see them perform because this team is really dang good.
You know, I think that's a great mention that you bring about keeping your composure, staying in a balanced state instead of having these overly hype and then obviously these low lows when things don't go well. We were kind of even talking about Shopify Rebellion. Is that going on with them? Not having the day of being in the top of those power rankings. I would expect it, but of course they are looking like they'll definitely stay in this tournament. Snipe Down, a team you highlighted earlier on, is Rock. Now they popped off, and I think deservedly so, after winning that last game and obviously looking like a team to beat.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We talked a lot about Rock and just the confidence that I think Saucer has in his teammates to give him the information. This team has honestly been flying under the radar so far in this. They've kind of not had top fragments. They've been in the top 10 almost the entire time, and that one win they got just for pulling all the way into the top 3 to really secure them to move on. And I think that's something about this team that they did develop because communication. I was talking to Raven about this morning with NIP, and I did compare these two teams a little bit. We are so far past the individual skill carrying you through tournaments, and obviously that we see a lot of these teams have that, but every pro player is individually talented. It comes down to what can you bring on top of that, and communication is so underappreciated, especially at
Assettle के पीछे इतना support है कुछ गलत नहीं हो सकता. Let's go.
Information you can feed your IGL is going
हम हैं साथ में.
how well in the position that they can get you into.
कोई सीड भाई को बोला ना रेड मारने के लिए.
You know, Deed's first land event was EWC.
Come on, boys, come on, let's go.
Now he feels like he's earned it. He feels confident. You could tell with Rock, they feel like they belong. A little bit more than that after a great win and a great placement here. And standing by, we've got 100% of Bronzy with Lace.
Yo, thank you so much, guys. Look, after a rough couple of days for Phony and the 100 Thieves team, of course, Phony was able to make it today. So we do have Bronzy, the coach of 100 Thieves, who was willing to step in and sub if Phony wasn't able to make it. Now, Bronzy, obviously you have preparation for the coaching sides of things, but what prepares you to be an emergency sub?
Well, truthfully, when I got the message that I might have to sub in. Immediately the boys were like, "Let's hop into TDMs, hop into rank, warm up as much as possible." I mean, realistically, it's just warming up my aim and being able to at least communicate a little bit to them and be able to play on their same pacing.
I mean, that's what you have to do. You just have to get in there and give it all your best. Now, obviously, you're kind of free from having to be an emergency sub, but you're not free from the roasting, okay? We do have a moment where Phony said 25% of him is better than 100% of Bronzy. And after their performance today, how true do you feel that is?
100% true. I mean, look at him. I would not call any of those zones, and he's leading the team perfectly.
I mean, we couldn't have asked for better. They're in that top section, and they should be going through to the match point on Sunday. Now, of course, you're a very dear friend of It's Timmy from NRG, and obviously he will be retiring from the ALGS. How are you sort of feeling about him leaving the scene?
Thank God. No, I'm kidding. You know, we went through our ups and downs as teammates, and then me being his coach. I think one last time to hero to what he loves doing. You know, there's just a lot of opportunities out there, and overall, I mean, I'm happy for him. You know, I think we all should be happy for him. Apex was a staple for 5 to 6 years for him, and you know, eventually people have to move on, and that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, well, we wish the best, obviously, for It's Timmy, but of course, to 100 Thieves. This is Bronzy, the coach from 100 Thieves, and hopefully they play out this last match. Excellent. Over to you guys at the casting desk.
Thank you so much, Lace. I love the shout out over to Timmy, right? You know, the last hurrah here as NRG are with 50 points overall here too. Trying to see what they have to do differently for this final game, the final stride for these teams that know what's at stake here, the teams that want to be comfortable, not having to play through the last chance qualifier, who are already sitting in that finals lobby, waiting for the rest of the game for tomorrow to play out.
Yeah, but they're in the bottom right now. That's the big story. Which 3 teams will be going home tonight, meeting their fate? The hands of the Crusher that we've got in the back of the stage. And it's a really tight pack. It's a really tight pack. It comes down to even the smallest mistake could be sending you home tonight.
We've gone through 9 matches, transcended through so many different maps, World's Edge, E-District, and to end the day, Broken Moon. Final game of today, final game of our pools play, and currently where it stands right now, we've had a good diverse spread on our legend bands here, but more importantly, I was wondering, you know, theory crafting, what kind of compositions are we going to see roll out? The Bangalore, the Fusey, the Rape to help rotate out here. It's going to come and clutch for a lot of these teams that know they have to try to get this KP. But specifically for the teams at risk right now, Twisted Minds tied together with Unlimit, 27 points each. That's 17th and 18th place. SBI with that final zone pull towards their POI before they
let's go, Jatin Bhai. Welcome.
And then having to play that
welcome to the stream, Jatin Bhai. Make sure you hit a like and subscribe. आगे भी watch party करने वाले हम और वहाँ पे भी सोल को सब आ जाना.
It is not out of the question whatsoever. A 5-point spread between our bottom 4 teams. And even then, looking at Evos just above them, that's going to be Evos at 16th place with 35 points. So, Evos aren't even sitting pretty right now. If our bottom 4 teams somehow all together have decent games,
let's go.
Have to feel comfortable.
Like, share, subscribe, guys. Like, share, subscribe.
After a lot of kills in that last game, you saw them aggressing into the zone to chase after kills. They might continue to do that here, or they might actually just a little bit.
Jatin bhai, आप बताओ prediction बताओ.
Ring ends up pulling, but it's Rock Esports with that victory in game number 5 that secured, basically secured themselves here in the top 7.
Prediction guys, prediction बताओ कितनी.
It's even harder when you have a team like Alliance soaking up so much of the points. If Alliance end up going above 140 points, currently they're sitting at 133, they will officially top that of Falcons points of 140 in last year's EWC during groups. Impressive to say the least, to see how that's really moved on across different maps here, legend bands being put into consideration.
इससे शायद ये पता चलता है कि इसके बाद का जो जोन है, इसके बाद कौन सा जोन कहाँ आने वाला है?
15 points per game for right now, so trying to hit 9 more points, it looks like it's going to be fairly easy. I mean, Effect alone has been able to get that 8 kill points in multiple games throughout the day. As we have a rival esports now moving forward. There are teams sitting on that top 7 bubble right now with 61 points, currently in 5th place. They feel relatively safe, but they still have to stay on their toes.
I need to highlight a team specifically that we talked about earlier on in the series.
Boys, let's go.
Sitting in 18th place with 27 points. We talked a lot about Ilari Man and popping off. Went from 3rd in Pro League Worldwide to only 6 kills so far in the series. They only hit top 10 once, which is crazy. It's Fusion in trouble. Our team sitting in dead last right now have already lost out on their Valkyrie.
Yeah, Dad Magic falling here. January and Kimchi will back away. It was VK Gaming that was able to get that knock. Possibly be able to secure that thirst.
ALGS
and some space to work with as they do end up backing away. They can maybe make their way on over to space.
Alliance जीत रही है.
There is a replicator there to play off of to try and get him back on in.
ये तो तेरा drop मंगाने का.
Loves to get aggressive out here. They know what's at stake. Being in 6th place overall, every KP matters here as they made that quick rotation.
पड़ा.
Because Shopify Rebellion, they've understood the assignment. Zainu getting that knock.
Yeah, and Shopify Rebellion was a team that started off so strong at the beginning of the day, but now find themselves in 13th place with, well, 44 with that thirst. But they have fallen quite a bit off that leaderboard. And they are still within reach of the top 7, but it's going to be so incredibly hard. They need a standout performance. They need a win here.
अच्छा जोन है. ऐसे तो easy ले सकता है.
I think it's Cinnamon.
Nice. यहाँ से जाके ये कंपाउंड ले ले बे तो बहुत सही रहेगा. ये भाई क्या हुआ सॉरी तो सोल इजी विनर. यहाँ से देखा ये कंपाउंड ले लो सोल. एसेट वाला यार सोल बोल रहा हूँ मैं भी यार.
Yeah, this one's going to play fairly similarly to how Dry Gulch did, but you see that it's not the strongest of priorities for one squad, right?
Let's go, boys, let's go.
Like they had in the last game, and so they're not going to have the same kind of control.
7 लोग दिख रहे, 7 लोग like share subscribe करें guys.
They were playing the absolute slowest side of the ring in game number 9, but now they're smack dab
थोड़ा
in the middle of it, so they don't have the same control over their
और
destiny
घूमते जा रहा हूँ मतलब
in game number 9. That's going to leave a
ये
lot
जेडी से नहीं पहुंच गया. जेडी से मिलेगा और फ्यूजन भी आ सकता है.
So coming in from the northern side, they'll have a lot more space to play off of. Team Liquid though looks like find themselves smack dab in the middle of quarantine zone.
Man, seeing this comp, by the way, what year is it? The Valkyrie Cosmic Gibby, right? The one thing I think about whenever I see this comp, alright, you gotta take out, I was gonna say you suck right there with the Alright, at least he got inside and he's not getting pressured out by a team right behind him. But every time I see this comp, I can't help Jamerson but get thrown back to ESA back in our days out here. As we take a look at Evo's already finding some space, at least inside this building. They're gonna try to at least get the ring
LL किधर है?
Alpha base, as well as that survey beacon.
Alliance किधर है? Alliance को दिखाओ यार.
Evos into their rotate is Shopify Rebellion. They get the circle ring first, and now they're going to be able to see who's within the vicinity here before Evos makes that next plan.
Yeah, they also have Unlimit that's going to be possibly shadowing behind them from Breaker Wharf. And Unlimit, currently in 18th place, 27 points. They have some ground to make up here, especially up against Evos, but not too far off from Twisted Minds. Well, who they are currently tied with.
Important to note, by the way, with the Fuse being able to scan the ring console, that's what they prioritize, which means they don't have the ability to scan a survey beacon, which means while they do rotate, Shopify moved away, so they don't have to worry about them waiting for them on the choke. While Go next on this big pile of so many teams already had made their way into quarantine zone.
Islands के साथ fight करोगी
Ringing in their ears over to the side is Team Liquid though, who are playing to their own advantage, considering they're playing much more bunker down with the composition that they're running.
push कर देना एक smoke करके push करो play बनाओ एक जगह पे बैठे बैठे हाँ मारो 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 ओह डैमेज ले रहे हो खुद डैमेज ले रहे हो आगे अब
Go down early, and you can see them playing extremely cautiously, backing away. The coverage fire coming out from Kinda and Natinum, enough for Henchmen to get back here. And so they're going to square off and look at Team Liquid in the distance. There's really no need to fight here in the middle of the zone right now, especially with the threats of third party.
Oh man, we've all been there. When you're on the sticks right there, 10-matic, having to play split up, or looking behind them outside of zone.
छोटे डैमेज ले रहे बाहर जाना बाहर पड़ा पड़ा पड़ा
He's got the syringe while Kimchi's running for his life. The Devo right behind them, looking to see if he can at least get away from the player that's chasing him down. A lot of these teams though on the outskirts of that next zone, just trying to stay. Eventually, you want to run into Evos who's right in front of you over by Core. Kimchi gets taken out, but again,
nice.
split up here. That's S8.
भाई तुम मत लो भाई तुम डैमेज मत लो भाई जाओ तुम
They'll definitely take them as
मरोगे मरोगे
down the rest of Fuse, like you had mentioned, they have split up. That's going to run them into Shopify Rebellion, into Evos. Evos, another squad that do need these kills to just stay ahead of everyone else in the lobby right now. As we get a better look at where January has run off to in the middle of the core right now. You can see Evos just off into the distance. Dan Matic just trying his best not to make any noise whatsoever. Well, he might actually just be out of meds completely.
Man, and definitely, it's like a horror movie out here because Shopify are waiting in the mist while Team Liquid having to worry about these nades now is biting away at so much of their med because they've been here so early, but then off the knuckle cluster alone, bombardment of these nades gets that knock originally here, but you can't really push as easily with the caustic barrels.
Yeah, they also already utilized the Gibraltar ult.
Oh my goodness,
That's
oh my goodness.
Down. The Nox gas grenades along with the barrels are the only thing slowing Go next here, but it's just a matter of time. There's a knock. That's Team Liquid out of the game.
Pinch
Team Liquid
from the side. Revival was able to take some pickings out of Team Liquid. See if it's going to be enough here for them as Revival now just move up, take the graveyard that's at their feet that was originally Team Liquid, taking a lot of damage here, having to back away into their safety of their own building. On the other side, what we saw from Go next, they're looking around to make sure Rival doesn't try to sneak up right behind.
पहला टीम Thieves
in the mist.
है होगा
will rotate from their southern side.
ALL जा रही guys ALL we support ALL.
Rival Esports trying to whittle away down the forces there on the south side. Got a small engagement as well taking place on the northwest side of the zone right now. Right now, it's just a lot for position. Whittle down the forces inside the center. We do have a quick pause. Now, the last team we did down was Team
Technical pause,
but they were safely in that top 11 plays, 50 points. The cutoff yesterday was 32.
तो restart होएगा कि क्या होएगा?
They are, of course, going to be able to breathe a sigh. Breathe a sigh of relief and know that hey, we're not going to be able to get top 7, but we're not out of it yet. We got the last chance games coming up tomorrow.
The worst type of situation to be in, if they were closer on that cusp, is having your fate out of your own hands here. So, get to take a step back as they are the first team out of this lobby. Of course, we are here in a quick break. Shout out to the fans. Alliance coming in with an army. No stress in this lobby. It's just quite impressive to highlight. Not only is Alliance
क्या पत्ती लगा यार इतने अच्छे लोग हैं वहाँ पे
also has 30 kills. Off of KP alone, Alliance has been able to gap the rest of this lobby with just KP. Just ignore the placement points, which is crazy.
Yes.
They could avoid getting eliminated off of KP alone is kind of absurd. And honestly, they did an amazing job all throughout the day. Even getting a little cheeky. We didn't get to talk about it, but we saw a few vantage picks. And well, it's Alliance picking that one up for themselves heading into game
लड़की
number 10.
के
Interesting to see how a lot of these different teams have opted, whether it be the Wraith, some teams committing to the Valkyrie, of course the purple perk on Valkyrie, allowing her to get the scan through the buildings in the middle of her ultimate too. Helps out for a lot of teams that have to go in for a much slower rotate. Doesn't really help out though in a zone like this. It can be difficult with the amount of teams that are sharing some of the space in quarantine zone. Guys, thank you so much for your patience. Let's dive right back into our final game here. We've only said goodbye to one team thus far. And looking at the other teams that are still rotating here outside of zone, Unlimit, BK Gaming, who are waiting by the choke side of Cliffside.
तो सही है प्रणव भाई EWC कब जाना है भाई बता दो बैक पैक करके जब थक भाई बुलाए तब जाने का प्रणव भाई
And hopefully they'll be able to rejoin together.
Hopefully he's got meds because he's in the zone right now.
जब थक भाई बुलाए तब जाएंगे अपन ऐसे नहीं जा सकते भाई पैसा नहीं है थक भाई बुलाएंगे तो पैसा देंगे ना थक भाई तो टिकट का तो पैसा देंगे टिकट का होटल का बाकी तो खाना तो मिल जाएगा पॉकेट का खा लेंगे ऐसा स्टेडियम में बैठे रहेंगे बाजू में कोई खाता रहेगा सही टेस्ट करा ऐसा खा लेंगे इसमें पबजी या बीजीएम में नहीं है क्या एपेक्स लेजेंड ग्रुप स्टेज है ना पबजी है इसमें पबजी है पबजी नेक्स्ट मंथ है नेक्स्ट मंथ पबजी को टाइम है अपने यहाँ से टीम आर्यन गए
having to exist the way that they did, Danmatic, of course, being one of those players, it's going to be tough. They're probably
yes. इसमें ऐसे ट्वेल है ना मालूम नहीं देख ऐसे ट्वेल EWC
Shopify though having to try to prioritize their own rotate off the other side of the accelerated
तेरा
zip line.
सुपर कब चालू हुआ कब का चालू हुआ कब का कर जरा सुपर चैट कर जरा कर तेरे हिसाब से देख सुपर चैट करके गाइस 2 सब्सक्राइब और चाहिए गाइस 2 सब्सक्राइब 2 सब्सक्राइबर और चाहिए
the opportunity to run up. MG Clutch with that Wraith portal will get his team safely into the zone right underneath Shopify Rebellion as Zainu actually matches him on the other side. The port's been taken. They're gonna get knocked. No, they somehow survive and get out alive, but they still need to heal.
Man, the R9 Coyful gets that beam. All Alliance, Hockey's effect having a party to themselves. Evos though are able to at least reset, so do not take that portal here, even if they want to try to cross that distance.
GG coming for the third party on the fight against Alliance. RRX down to solo right now as Alliance try their best to hold the line, but no, the third party is too much for GG.
And they do not hit 140 points, by the way, to match that progress that we saw from Falcons last EWC in the group stage, where they secured the most points we've seen here as RRX now as a solo, trying to see what they could do, sitting in 14th place overall, 39 total points, and I'm just trying to stay alive.
Yeah. Gaming Gladiators currently still hovering on that building right now. He might have an opportunity to get back over there, secure banners, and get his team back on in, but right now RRX are sitting in a really tough spot. For Evos, they're able to navigate their way around. They did have to basically rotate back around to S8UL's side because of Shopify Rebellion and how strong that they were able to match them on that.
Oh, bye.
Takes a shot off at
S8UL,
so they've given up the ghost.
तो के साथ साइड होएगा ईवो के साथ.
And here's MG Clutch going for another port.
This time right behind S8UL though closes in that space now. Moves have to be made. They have to fight no matter what. It's going to be difficult. They have to pop that med kit. They hear the portal here at the same time. S8UL have the high ground advantage though. Going over the other side of the Motherlode, creating so much space. But the circle damage is too much. It's only up to Hoodie being on that lifeline to allow them to get the KP that they may need. Still gets the res here to at least delay the inevitable.
But the ring is damaging them this entire time. MG Clutch healing up throughout all of this, but JD Gaming are watching on. S8UL were able to make it into the safety of the zone.
Nice!
There it is. Evos knocked out, and now they just have to watch on to see
ऊपर है
they will be moving on to tomorrow's game.
That's one of the situation where
bye.
hands right now, sitting in 16th
Subak.
place overall with 36 points after going out as 8.
Done. अरे thank you 179 for Pranav. Thank you for your support 179. यहाँ से तो भाई बीट हो गया ऐसे लौटे. Thank you Pranav bhai for 179 rupees. Done. Let's go. वैसे भी ऐसे 12 फाइनल के लिए क्वालिफाई हो गया. Let's go.
It's go next that get eliminated at the hands of Crazy Raccoon.
A little bit more comfortable for go next, sitting in 14th place, 40 points. Remember the cutoff yesterday in top 17 was 32. So they're feeling pretty comfortable. Still a little bit iffy, but they should be moving on.
We also got to see SBI get eliminated. No opportunity here for SBI to turn things around as they go out in 19th place with 25 points. As we say goodbye to SBI though, we take a look at Crazy Raccoon and where everything stands here.
फिर एक ना पोजीशन क्या रहता है अपना फाइनल कप फाइनल शायद कल या परसों उसका भी वॉच पार्टी करेंगे. डिस्कॉर्ड पे बैठ के करेंगे. प्रॉपर वॉच पार्टी करेंगे.
Trying to keep Fusion out. Fusion somehow scrambling. I don't know how they made it in, by the way. I wish. Well, I'm going to look back at the map feed later on just to see how they're able to rotate in here. JDG doing a great job.
Sharky.
Did not have to force anything there. They had that power position. Here's Fusion charging forward. They've got 100 Thieves taking a little bit of damage. But again, they're still wary of their back right now as Kimchi ends up going down. Rival on the other side.
Max level Fusion 100 Thieves. Killed. Fusion गया. Hashtag 13. चलो bye good night. चलो bye Pranav bhai. Thank you for your support. Bye good night. 10k watching by congrats. Thank you bhai. Thank you. Manifest कर रहे 10.
100 Thieves started off the day with a huge win. Phony playing all 10 games. Can he bookend this series with another win here on the Broken Moon?
तीन तो की है. ये क्या ये मस्त गन है बे. मशीन गन मस्त गन है. मशीन वाला ही दर मारता साला. वो घुस गया. आरबीएल पे घुस गया सीधा. क्या भर दिया बे. थर्ड 75 मतलब अपन थोड़ा नीचे गिरेगा वैसे. ऐसे टोल थोड़ा नीचे आएगा. Gaming Gladiators भी गया. TWS. अबे एलेंस कब मरा?
To find a knock onto NRG, but for Twisted Minds, it's all about surviving here for them on the south side of the zone. It looks like
एलेंस कब मरा बे guys? कोई बता?
Thieves is alleviating. Now Twisted Minds might have a path forward.
NRG had gotten eliminated and all that chaos deeds
Double
with the
digger. Ah, ba?
man down to a solo. We highlighted your Lari man, 18th overall, 29 total points, unlimited. Get eliminated at 18th. 8 squads left as Rock move up. Crazy Raccoon get eliminated. It's the collapse here on the south side of quarantine zone as it stands. Unlimited out. SBI and Fusion meet up together.
Fusion बात चला गया.
Make it into that LCQ.
खत्म हो गया Fusion का.
Looking down at the team right below it, that's BKG.
डैमेज दो अंदर आओ, डैमेज दो अंदर आओ।
Hold the line now with this amp coverage. Well, he doesn't have the amp, but he's got the cover as they charge forward. LD getting knocked from VK Gaming. 100 Thieves are basically playing King of the Hill right now with no team really ready to challenge them. Twisted Minds still alive. They have already secured their spot in their top 17, but they just want to finish this last one out strong.
Oh, they're trying.
Cover
They're trying so hard, but Twisted Minds, they get eliminated. A little sigh of relief as this is one of the teams here on the bottom end of the scoreboard. 17-32 points. 100 Thieves though. Last three squads get eliminated. 100 Thieves versus
3v3
VP had their moment in the sun as well.
Nice.
Earlier on today when
घुसो अबे स्मोक करो ना आगे, प्ले बनाओ स्मोक करके। यहाँ पे चढ़ोगे तो पड़ेगा सब साथ में। वाह, वे कहाँ जा रहा है? वे क्या एंगल बना? क्या एंगल बना?
Tries to pelt them with this bow check. The circle though is closing right behind his back. They need to start moving over to the other side. That's why Phony is on the race. Get that information. Reposition right now. As 100 Thieves also look at Shopify.
मेरे को तो मजा आ रहा है देखने। चलो गुड नाइट फास्ट बाय। ये देख गन मार ना, गोली मार। देख दर केजीएफ का गन। देख रहे केजीएफ वाला गन। 3v3 पड़ गया, नॉक हुआ, दूसरा नॉक। मां कसम, नाइस। एंटी रे एंटी, बड़ी अम्मा, यस बड़ी अम्मा।
And to end the day on Broken Moon.
Nice.
For VP.
भाई क्या टेंशन में लग रहा है।
3 teams that did not make it into the last chance.
Look at it.
SBI and Fusion. They tried. Fusion even
लास्ट के 3 लोग उसका ये तोड़ेगा।
But it is VP that comes out on top. You saw Shopify Rebellion too, really trying to play us out to get into that.
अरे वाह, लिक्विड के बाद ये ली मरे। S12 3 kill, जल्दी मरा।
Double-digit KP, not as soaked up as Alliance had gone down the second team to go down in this game.
It's just so funny how we had such a similar story. Game number 1, Skyhook West, it's 100 Thieves, it's Shopify Rebellion, and it's Virtus Pro. And then we bookended perfectly here in game number 10. Virtus Pro, 100 Thieves, and
Guys,
Shopify
like,
Rebellion.
share and subscribe. सब्सक्राइब कीजिए गाइस, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। ये #5 कोई वांदा नहीं, क्वालिफाई तो हो गया अपन। Qualify, baby. We are qualified. Unlimited SBI Esports Fusion. इन लोग का वो टूटेगा, इन लोग के पास जो की है वो तोड़ देगा। सॉरी, अब वो कौन तोड़ेगा पता नहीं।
Our top 7 teams to join our other 7 teams from yesterday into that final lobby, securing now officially our 14 teams that have made their way into the match point final.
spam कर दो, rocket spam हो जाना चाहिए guys.
Tomorrow to see who will fill out the final 6 teams in that lobby. Right now, though, we already have 14. We have a good idea of what the draft's going to look like. And it's going to be so difficult, right? Because the stakes are so high when it comes to the last chance matches. Just keeping your tournament hopes alive, right? But despite how well you do down there in the last chance qualifier, your highest draft is 15th place.
As we take a look at our teams, though, that put on a performance. Fusion. Bottom team here, Kimchi, had finished off with 5 KP. January, Den Matic having a rough go here in this
Even
10-game series. SBI.
And we had Ulari, man, there. We hyped him up. We had one of the best performances there from
हमको
Unlimited,
कुछ
but
नहीं
we saw the shock in his face. He just could not believe it. And, you know, with so much at stake, with his performance across this split, you can understand his disappointment and his shock throughout all of this. And it's really unfortunate that with this format, it's that one match and you can get knocked out.
Knocked out.
It's crazy that we were hyping up Ulari Man, who had broken records. 14 KP, 4K damage in one game alone. In a pretty stacked lobby. It was like winners round 2 of the Open. But it comes to show how a lot of these changes, patch changes out here, teams have approached the meta differently. You would expect the Devo to just completely overtake the amount of kills that it's been able to secure, but it's the R9 that comes in, finding that impact here.
Guys, next watch party के लिए सब्सक्राइब कर दो guys. Next watch party के लिए. आज हम पता नहीं लेट आ गए, थोड़ा काम में बिजी थे, इसके लिए लेट हो गया. पर
quite literally get crushed in the crusher. But before we do that, let's check in with VP for the final end game call, that final victory on the day in match number 10.
We need a hold on right here. Yeah, throw it deep, Slayer, throw it deep. But not too deep to where we have
Travis
to
Ed?
cross and get rampart. I can peek down on this team.
Travis Ed की तरह दिख रहा है. ये देखो, ये देखो.
Nice. Watch the guy. It's about to be a 3v3.
Give
me life out. I'm batting. Give me drone. I don't have it. Guys, it's about to be a 3v3. It's just one alive over there. It's about to be a 3v3. Give me a lifeline drone. I got killed. Nice. 3v3. 3v3. Give me a lifeline. Stay right. Lifeline hold up. Lifeline out. I'm batting. I'm gonna go top right. Arc in the tree. I'm trying to shoot this rampart in this fucking Shiva.
Guys, ना तुमको सपोर्ट करने वाला, सुपर चैट करने बोलो, ना कुछ करने बोलो. सब्सक्राइब कर दो यार guys. दो ही सब्सक्राइबर चाहिए, दो सब्सक्राइबर चाहिए खाली. कर दो यार guys, कर दो.
Let's go, baby. Good shit. Nice game. Good shit. That's what it is right there, man. Bro. That means the worst right there. Worst possible. No, we might have gotten higher too. It hasn't updated yet. No, it did.
13 लोग देख रहे. क्या बात? 13 का वॉचिंग रात के 3 बजे. अच्छे लोग ही तोड़ेगा क्या? ये लोग ही क्रश करेगा.
ALGS effect, unlucky. Gentlemen, due to the nature of my job, I'm rarely lost for words, but I've got to say, map 2, map 4, my jaw was on the floor like the rest of the arena.
20 लोग, भाई 20 लोग देख रहे यार. लाइक कर दो guys, लाइक कर दो. सब्सक्राइब कर दो guys, सब्सक्राइब. 20 में से खाली 2 लोग तो सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं यार. 6000 सब्सक्राइबर हो जाएंगे guys. 6000. अब देखते हैं अपन देखते हैं ये क्रश का देखते क्रश का.
In that same game, I'm not even sure that you know this, Hackis, but you managed to secure 39 knockdown assists. That is wild! Some wild statistics for you guys there at home.
Thank you जो भी सब्सक्राइब करेगा उसके लिए थैंक यू. लास्ट एक सब्सक्राइबर थी 5999 पहुंच चुके हैं अपन. बस एक सब्सक्राइबर चाहिए, बस खाली एक सब्सक्राइबर चाहिए.
Not playing too confident, right? And just the day before we had like a small talk and I was like, just let me play my game. And with how it went.
And that is your game. That's just outrageous. Hackis, I got to ask you, how does it feel to perform like this on day 1 at EWC, but in front of the army that you guys have with you?
I mean,
feels amazing as usual. Just group stages so far though. So
oh, thank you so much guys for 6,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I got the revival subscriber. Thank you, Jay Yadav. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Jay Bhai. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you. देखो गाइस, अपन रोज स्ट्रीम करते, रोज रात को स्ट्रीम करते, संडे को अब से दोपहर को स्ट्रीम करेंगे. तो आ जाना गाइस, आ जाना. साथ में भी खेल लेंगे BGMI. अब ये देखते स्ट्रीच। ओके भाई आप सब मत करो, ये देख के जाओ बस। गया अबे यार बहुत 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 गलत है, तोड़ डाला। बहुत खराब लगते हैं, बहुत खराब लगते हैं, क्रश कर दिया पूरा। कल देखेंगे LCQ गाइस, LCQ देखेंगे कल गाइस। तो चलो गाइस, थैंक यू फॉर योर ट्यूनिंग, थैंक यू गाइस, थैंक यू, रियली अप्रिशिएटेड। और रात के 3 बजे मैं भी आपकी तरह ऐसे ट्यूल का ही फैन हूँ 2018 से, समझ रहे हो गाइस, 2018 से मैं भी ऐसे ट्यूल का फैन हूँ। अच्छा लगता है ये पोजीशन पे पहुंच गया आज ऐसे ट्यूल, बहुत अच्छा लगता है। तुमको तुम्हारा चैट नहीं दिखता रहेगा ना, तुम सोचते रहे कि मेरे को मेरा चैट दिखता है, तो रुक जाओ। कहाँ गया, किधर था ब्राउज। आ गया ना गाइस, आ गया तुम्हारा चैट। आ गया गाइस, देखो आ गया ना। चिंता नहीं करनी, चिंता इतनी करने का, तुम्हारा भाई है ना, तुम्हारा वाइट है तुम्हारा भाई। अब तुम्हारा चैट भी दिखेगा गाइस। तो नाउ ए भाई ऐसा क्यों हिल रहा है? मेरा ये थोड़ी ना दिखाने का। यस और गाइस बताओ कहाँ से हो आप सब लोग, कहाँ से हो? गाइस कहाँ से हो? अबे और एक चीज लेना है ना, यहाँ से ये भी ले सकते अपन। तो अपने को दिखेगा कि अपने कितने सब्सक्राइबर होंगे। मार्क करो, एक सब्सक्राइबर चला भी गया। सब्सक्राइबर जय यादव, बहुत गलत किया है, बहुत गलत किया है। कोई ना गाइस, ठीक है, कल LCQ की वापस से वॉच पार्टी करेंगे अपन। तो सब्सक्राइब कर लो गाइस, सब्सक्राइब कर लो गाइस, टेंशन न को। कल LCQ का स्ट्रीम करेंगे। देखते क्या होता है फिर फाइनल्स का जरूर फाइनल्स का भी उसका जरूर करेंगे, जरूर करेंगे। फाइनल्स में तो धूम धड़ाका मचा देंगे, फुल सपोर्ट। स्पैम ऐसा चलाएंगे, रॉकेट का स्पैम गाइस, समझ रहे हो? Asset on top baby, yes, GSM
एस12 टॉप 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 पे ही हमेशा। बस भाई फाइनल्स में जीत जाए। मजा आ जाएगा, मजा, ऐसा मजा आएगा ना, ऐसा मजा आएगा ना। क्या आप छोटा सपोर्ट अगर करना चाहो तो मेंबरशिप ले सकते हो गाइस, आपकी मर्जी, आप मेंबरशिप ले सकते हो आपको अगर लेना है, वरना सब्सक्राइब करके भी छोड़ोगे चल जाएगा। बस दिल से सपोर्ट चाहिए ऐसे टोल के लिए, बहुत मजा आएगा, बहुत मजा आएगा। मैं बोल रहा ना गाइस, आपको ना ऐसा मजा करेगा ना वॉच पार्टी कर करके। बस मेरा सीन ये रहता ऑफिस से, हाँ वैसे भी सही टाइम आके सीधा बैठेंगे लाइव स्ट्रीम करने ऑफिस से, बाकी तो ठीक है। आप लोग तो हो ही सपोर्ट करने, आ जाना, रॉकेट स्पैम करते रहना। Sexual on top baby, मजा आ गया, मजा आ गया। पर गए मानना पड़ेगा, थक भाई को मानना पड़ेगा, क्या कुकिंग करते, क्या दिमाग लगाते, क्या बिजनेस माइंड पे, मजा आ गया, मजा आ गया, तो मजा, ऐसा मजा आया ना। अब तो और बहुत सारे मैचेस बाकी है, बहुत सारे मैचेस बाकी है। फुल सपोर्ट गैस, फुल सपोर्ट करेंगे तक भाई को, अपना ऐसे 12 को। आखिर दिल में यार ऐसे 12 दिल में सबसे मिल चुका, बस खाली अब गोल्डी भाई से मिलना बाकी है गैस, खाली गोल्डी भाई से मिलना बाकी, बाकी तो क्वालिफाई फॉर ग्रैंड फाइनल्स बेबी, लेट्स फकिंग गो। अब तो फिलहाल कुछ नहीं है, समझ, अभी फिलहाल कुछ नहीं है। अभी ऐसे 12 का यही आएगा, आई मीन कब से फाइनल, एक मिनट, फाइनल शायद संडे को है। फाइनल देखो एपेक्स बिल्कुल ना भाई, हाँ बाकी टेकन है, टेकन को तो टाइम है, टेकन सॉरी डोटा तो है नहीं, कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी में यार 4 पॉइंट से गैस, 4 पॉइंट से नहीं हो पाया। हाँ 13 को संडे को 8:30 बजे
मजा आएगा। ये तो रहेगा ना। ये तो है देख, टेकन ऐसे 12 का शेड्यूल का एक मिनट, स्पोर्ट्स फेस्टिवल वही ढूंढ रहा हूँ, रुक जाओ, इस पे ही शायद मिलेगा। भाई वेलो का भी है, वेलो का भी आ रहा है, वेलो का भी तो फाइनल्स है। पबजी मोबाइल, चेस है, फीफा है, फीफा 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 किधर गया? फीफा को भी टाइम है वैसे तो। 7 अगस्त को है। टेकन है 13 को। ये EWC के वेबसाइट पे मिल जाएगा गाइस आपको। मतलब कोई टेंशन है नहीं। हाँ मजा आ रहा है। सीन क्या है, जब खेलोगे ना, जब खेलोगे ना तब तुमको मजा आएगा। शुभम भाई समझ रहे हो, जब अपन खेलेंगे ना तब अपने को समझ में आएगा। ऐसा देखने को तो बहुत फास्ट मजा आ रहा है। नहीं यार, मेरे पास इतना अच्छा सिस्टम नहीं है जो मैं एपेक्स खेल पाऊँ। स्ट्रीम करता हूँ उसमें दूसरा कुछ, उसमें भी लैग होता है। तब जब अच्छा पीसी खरीदेंगे। और आप कहाँ से हो? मैं तो मुंबई से हूँ। आप कहाँ से हो शुभम भाई? वाराणसी, हाय 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 हाय, क्या जगह से हो आप? आना है वाराणसी, आना है मेरे को। आएंगे आएंगे, रात भर स्ट्रीम करते हो? फिलहाल तो वॉच पार्टी है इसलिए कर रहे रात भर, वरना 10:30 से चालू करते 1:30 तक, ज्यादा से ज्यादा 2। फिर ऑफिस भी रहता ना, पर आज एसेटोल को सपोर्ट करना था यार इसलिए, वरना स्ट्रीम तो अपनी चलती रहती है। सो जाता भी वो तो एपेक्स वाला था। हाँ सेम, समझ रहे हो। मैं भी आज लाइव स्ट्रीम भी कितने बजे, 11 11:30 बजे के आसपास चालू किया मैं। मतलब देख रहे तो साथ में वॉच पार्टी भी कर लेते, इसके लिए वॉच पार्टी की है। ना मैं तो भाई सो जाता, पेट भी दर्द दे रहा है 2 दिन से। नींद भी पूरा नहीं हो रहा है। अब कल सुबह जल्दी उठना है। अब सोएंगे फिर उठेंगे। गाइस लाइक से सब्सक्राइब करें। कल वापिस आएंगे हम वॉच पार्टी करने LCQ का। कल LCQ है, देखते LCQ में किस पे पनौती लगाना। वैसे मेरा पनौती पावर चल रहा है। ऐसे ही मजाक करते रहो सब्सक्राइबर। सब्सक्राइब के पहले मत भागो, कंटेंट के पीछे भागो। व्यूज चकमक, क्या बात है, क्या बात बोली शुभम में। थैंक यू थैंक यू। व्लॉगिंग वॉगिंग वो सब भी करते, पर अभी अकेले है यहाँ पे। एक दोस्त है जामनगर रहता है, एक दोस्त दुबई में, तो साथ में कंटेंट का बहुत मुश्किल पड़ता, तो लाइव स्ट्रीम ही करते। और रात को guys like crick. Wait, dhatan 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 dhatan. यार पर पूरा नींद भाग गया, समझ लो। ऐसे 12 क्वालिफाई हो गई, पूरा नींद भाग गया। और बताओ गाइस, क्या हालचाल आप सबके? हाँ यार, एक यूट्यूबर है अफ्रीकन फोटो, बोला है कि अगर आप 5 या घंटे रहोगे तो अपना ओरिजिनल कंटेंट के साथ। हाँ वो तो है, मैं भी कितने टाइम से चालू कर रहा था, बीच में गैप पड़ा था, कुछ फैमिली इश्यूज था, उसको 1 साल का गैप अच्छा खासा हो गया था। लॉकडाउन के पहले से ही चालू कर दिया था लाइव स्ट्रीम, तो लॉकडाउन में ही चालू किया। बस हिम्मत, हाँ हिम्मत तो बहुत बहुत है, हिम्मत नहीं आ रही। बीच में 1 साल का वो ले लिया था कि मसाला खार हो गया। हाँ, आपको कैसे मालूम? क्या करे, आदत से मजबूर। बाबा बाबा क्या है? गो ग्रीन वाला बाबा। ए टटना टटना। देखो 50 लाइक के लिए सिर्फ 5 लाइक चाहिए। वैसे यार मैं गॉडल सपोर्टर हूँ, बट इट कम्स टू इंटरनेशनल वी आर वन टीम। हाँ सीधी सी बात है यार, राइवलरी रखो अंदर। इंटरनेशनल में तुम अंदर ही अंदर वाला राइवलरी दिखाओगे तो फिर सामने वाला भी इज्जत नहीं करेगा। तो बेटर है, इंडिया से एक टीम गया है, अगर गॉडल जाता तो मेरे लिए भी इतना ही सपोर्ट रहता। सीधी सी बात। EWC यार, वर्ल्ड कप है, वर्ल्ड कप। रहीम शेख वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम। तुम्हारे फेवरेट प्लेयर कौन है BGMI में? मान्या गॉब्लिन। मान्या का हेजल पसंद है, तो गॉब्लिन का यार मतलब पागल कुत्ता रहता ना, पागल कुत्ता, छोड़ दो हर किसको भी काट लेगा, वैसा है। Guys, 3 likes more, 3 likes for 50 यार। 50 लाइक समझ लो यार, 50 लाइक आज पहली बार आ रहा है 50 लाइक। सुना है हेक्टर फिर से ब्रेक हो रहा। अभी तो पता नहीं अब क्या है, अभी तो फिलहाल पब्लिक का सबका ध्यान क्या थो छोट भाई तमे। निशांत राठौड़ मुंबई से SA12 OP, SA12 ऑन टॉप बेबे। शुभम भाई देखो अभी तो फिलहाल तो सबका ध्यान EWC में, फिर मास्टर सीरीज आने वाला है और फ्रेंचाइज आने वाला है, देखते। गुज्जू, यस गुज्जू राठौड़ भाई, अपन परमार है राठौड़ भाई लुआर। सही है, फिर 2 टीम रहेगा। क्या बोला था 200 गिव अवे हो जाए, कर दो गिव अवे, कर दो। ગામ કયું છે? અમરેલી તમારું? चल ठीक है ब्रो, सो जाओ वरना ऑफिस में दिक्कत हो जाएगी। क्या करे, रॉकेट स्प्रैम करो, रैंडम उठाते। कल रखते ना, लिलिया नाम सांगू जे, लिलिया कल करते ना, बोल। और आप भी अनाउंसमेंट कर डालते, कल कितने लोग गिव अवे करवाए करना बताओ। ओके मालिक, यस मालिक। वैसे ग्रीन वाला ग्रीन वाला हम ठीक से અમે આમ જોવા જાય તો ચલાળા નથી, ચલાલા 2। अरे मतलब पापा अच्छे धारी पेल, धारी पेला तो बाजू में अच्छा अपने तो मारे चलाड़ा ये भाई। हाँ वैसे गाइस कल हम गिव अवे करने वाले 500 रुपया, 2 बंदे, 2 लकी विनर को 500 मिलेगा। तो कल गाइस आ जाना, सब्सक्राइब कर लो, आ जाना, गिव अवे में पार्टिसिपेट कर लेना, वॉच पार्टी भी करेंगे साथ में। तो गाइस सॉरी, लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब। शुभम भाई कल फिर से मिलते हैं आपसे, बाय बाय टाटा। टाइम 11 बजे आ जाओ, 11 बजे आ जाओ। 11 बजे गैस। 1 लाइक चाहिए 50 लाइक के लिए, 1 लाइक। हो गया बे 50 लाइक तो। थैंक यू गाइस, थैंक यू फॉर योर सपोर्ट, रियली अप्रिशिएटेड। कल 11 बजे आ जाना, गिव अवे करेंगे। वेडिंग कार्ड कुछ नहीं, सीधा तुम्हारा गूगल वाला क्या बोलते हैं नंबर देना, गूगल पे, फोन पे, पेटीएम जो भी है, सीधा पेमेंट। चलो गाइस, आई सॉरी, चलते, कल ऑफिस भी जाना है पे यार, छुट्टी भी नहीं ले सकता। चलो गाइस, चलो गुड नाइट, बाय बाय, स्वीट ड्रीम्स, टेक केयर। कल 11 बजे शार्प आ जाना रात को, सुबह मत आके बैठ, और सब्सक्राइब कर दो। कल LCQ का वॉच पार्टी करेंगे मस्त से सब मिलके, ठीक है गाइस। चलो पीस आउट, गुड नाइट, बाय बाय, लव यू। वो एंड स्क्रीन नहीं आने वाली, ठीक है। गुड नाइट, बाय, गुड नाइट, रहीम बाय, खुदाफिज।